It was a bit sudden. It was a bit sudden. Everyone looked at Xiang Longfei. Nan Gongho was startled for a moment, then asked, "Start what?" Longfei said, "Let's spar. Isn't the Banquet of Forbidden Peak only a martial arts competition among the young generation of the Fireglass dynasty? Don't waste time. Hurry up and start. I still dare to go home." Longfei wiped the grease off his mouth with his sleeve and continued, "Don't tell me you guys didn't come here to compete in martial arts. It's all because of that Heaven Sect medallion. Don't tell me you're not here." The Banquet of Forbidden Peaks process was to eat and communicate. They boasted about each other. Finally, the Emperor suggested a competition. Whoever gets first place will be rewarded. Longfei completely ignored the topic of communication. He was not in the mood to listen to others bragging. He was a brute who liked simple and crude games. In any case, he would have to use his fists to resolve this matter in the end. Nan Gongho smiled slightly and thought to himself, Longfei should have also sensed that Three Pillars was attacking the Long family. He wants to escape as soon as possible and return as soon as possible. However, since you came here tonight, how could I let you go back alive? Nan Gongho said, Dongfang Jian and Nangong Yin have not come. Let's wait for them. Moreover, I have something to announce, so we can announce it after everyone arrives. Longfei sat down again and asked, "Are there any holy tea?" Nan Gongho looked at Eunuch Lu and said, "Bring Long Qing a pot of holy tea." Eunuch Lu immediately replied and pushed him out. A few minutes later, he personally brought a pot of holy tea to Longfei and poured some tea for him before whispering, "Three Pillars has already made his move. Commander Yuan is ready." After which, he quietly retreated to the side. Longfei didn't have any fluctuation and thought in his heart, "Three Pillars, tonight, you all can wait to die." He wasn't in a hurry because he wanted to return to the Long family. But he wanted to finish the mission early because that way he would be able to obtain the second clue of the Dragon Salure. Tonight, he had to find the remaining half of the Dragon Salure. The time was almost up, and if he did not complete this mission soon, the time limit would expire. "Dragon Salure, where are you?" Longfei muttered in his heart. He was now using it to kill chickens and give them to Jojo. If he wanted to obtain the striking attribute, he would have to cut 10 people consecutively in order to do so in a row. Suddenly, Princess Nangong has arrived. Young Master Dongfang is here. As the two voices fell, the corners of Longfei's mouth drew back. He looked at Dongfang Jian and immediately laughed. "Brother Green Hat." Dongfang Jian's brows tightened as he let out a cold snort. Nangong Yin changed into a new set of clothes. There was no anger on his face, but an ice-cold expression. Out of the corner of his eyes, he glanced at Longfei with contempt and disdain. Walking to the center of the hall, he said directly, "Your Majesty, I agree with Longfei's suggestion. Everyone is here for the Heaven Sex medallion. Why not be direct?" Longfei laughed. "My future wife, your words are good. That's right. As a husband singing with his wife, it would be great if you could continue like this." Nangong Yin did not look at Longfei and continued to speak. "However, Banquet of Forbidden Peak is the most magnificent exchange of geniuses. Not just some cats and dogs have the qualifications to participate. F***CK. Talking about qualifications here again." Longfei burst out in vulgarity and spoke in disdain. "You took those dozens of slaps just now for nothing?" The other side of his face is itchy. Jojo immediately walked over and said, "Young master, just say it." Nangong Yan's face twitched. She would never forget the dozen or so slaps she received in her entire life, and said, "Your Majesty, I suggest that only geniuses with War Chief realm can participate. As for those who have not reached the War Chief realm, it would be better not to participate. The difference in strength is too big. Dying on the stage will not be good." And then, Dongfang Jian immediately took a step forward and said, "Yenner is right. Although it's only a matter of time, the difference in realm is too big, and it's very easy to not be affected." Zhuge Jinxiang walked out and said, "I agree with this suggestion as it is an exchange between geniuses." There is no need for those unqualified wastes to participate, right? Li walked out and said, I agree with both hands. Following that, a few other men stood up and said, we also agree. 2/3 of the people in the banquet hall stood up, while the other third were people like Long Fei, who had not reached the war chief realm yet. The other third of the crowd also stood up and said, I came here to exchange pointers. As for the martial arts competition, I give up automatically. Your Majesty, please agree. What will happen tonight? They all knew it in their hearts. Outside the palace, the Long family had turned into a battlefield. Before they came here, they had been reminded by their fathers to stand by Nan Gongyin, Zhuge Jinxiang, and Li Yi's side at all times. Never stand by Long Fei's side. It's important to stand in line. If he could stand in a good team for a few more years, then his family would prosper. If he stood in the wrong team, that would be a disaster. At this moment, the fat man at the end of the seat stood up, threw away the chicken leg in his hand, and said, I don't agree. The banquet of Forbidden Peak created by our ancestors is about communication and not setting the threshold. They said that this banquet of Forbidden Peak should be promoted to let all the young talents participate. Nan Gongyin turned his head to look at him, and coldly said, Wang Jinglian, you're just a lowly son of the second rank, yet you don't even have the qualifications to speak. Fatty Wang wiped off the grease on his mouth, not caring at all about what Nan Gongyin said, and said, Your Majesty, my cultivation is also at the second level of war chief, but I still do not agree with Princess Nan Gong's suggestion. And their methods are against the young Marquis Long. If it's against you, then go ahead and do it. This way of scheming is not something that I, Fatty Wang, am ashamed to do. And then, Fatty Wang walked to Long Fei's side and said respectfully, Young Marquis Long, I'm standing on your side. I can see that they are unhappy, but if I am unhappy, it means that I am unhappy. I, Fatty Wang, am openly saying that I am unhappy. At this moment, Long Fei really admired this Fatty Wang a little. Nan Gongyin sneered and said, Today, your words will not be long before you regret it, and you will pay the price for it. Princess Ningong, don't scare me too much. I, Fatty Wang, am not scared. Wang Jing said, Baidu sister-in-law, AA half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system. Long Fei walked out, looked at Nan Gonghua, and said, Your Majesty, just as they had said, only the war chief realm has the qualification to participate. Nan Gonghua's brows tightened and said, Then you. He was really worried that Long Fei would leave the stage just like that, which would really ruin his plans. Long Fei looked at Nan Gonghua's expression and said slightly, Relax, I won't leave. It's just a war chief realm. Don't worry, I'll have it soon. Chapter 10, Securing the Foundations, sent over 8_8419/2356515. This time, he didn't understand. The war chief realm will be here soon? Could it be that Long Fei could break through in the next few minutes? He was currently at the 9th stage of the war spirit, so breaking through wouldn't be an ordinary feat if he wanted to break through this kind of large realm. He would have to continuously break through it, and he was also a member of the Long family. Humph! Nan Gongyin sneered. Who doesn't know that you are trash with 0 dragon blood activation? What will you obtain once you break through? If you don't have the qualifications, you don't have the qualifications. As long as you admit to it. However, if you beg me on your knees, maybe we'll agree to let you join us. Nan Gongyin was very pleased with himself. The sense of superiority was back on his face. Long Fei was really unhappy with her. Jojo was about to rush forward. Nan Gongyin, young master gave you face, right? They were pulled down by Long Fei and said, Jojo, don't be angry. Some people just like to show off their sense of superiority. If she likes to show off, just let her show off when there's time for her to kneel on the ground. Nan Gongyan's eyes turned sinister as he shouted, Long Fei, you do not have the qualifications to get out of Violet Gold Temple. Long Fei did not speak. The idea sunk, and then connected to Xiao Bai's idea, saying, Kill all of these people. Kill. Xiao Bai suddenly received Long Fei's orders, and they became even more ferocious, continuing to kill. From the beginning, ever since the battle had begun, the system Beep S in Long Fei's mind had never stopped. Xiao Bai was his war pet. Originally, Long Fei was close to leveling up and breaking through the war chief realm. Xiao Bai went on a rampage to kill. At this moment, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, War Chief level, 1. As soon as the system announcement rang out, a burst of rumbling sounds came out from Long Fei's body as the aura on his body abruptly changed. Long Fei smiled. All right, let's begin. A simple sentence. The entire audience was shocked by him. That simple? Breakthrough just like that? What was going on? Nangong Yin laughed and said, You said that you will break through just like that? I even said that I was a War Emperor Realm TSK. Your negative activation to Dragon Blood should never be able to break through the War Chief realm. At this moment, Nangongho frowned and said slowly, He did indeed break through. He is already a War Chief realm. Nangong Yan's expression changed and became a little ugly. He looked at Nangong Hoa and asked, Your Majesty, it is impossible for him to break through the War Chief realm. Dongfang Jian also said slightly, Little Sister Yin, the aura of the War Chief did indeed go to his body, and he did make a breakthrough. Nangong Yin looked at Long Fei in the blink of an eye, his eyes burning with rage. Long Fei laughed and asked, Some people just like to be despicable. If you don't screw her mother, she won't know that you're her father. You want the qualifications? Are you qualified now? F***CK. Displeased, Long Fei shouted a vulgarity and turned to Nangong. Your Majesty, let's begin. While they were talking, Long Fei immediately summoned his dragon Salyer and carried it on his shoulder. He grinned. My blade is unable to endure the thirst. The look in Nangong's eyes tensed up. Dragon Salyer, the upper half of the dragon Salyer has appeared. As long as you fuse them together, you'll be able to obtain the dragon Salyer secret. If you really find the dragon race and control them, then my Fireglass dynasty will be able to rule the entire world, huh? He was laughing maniacally. Right now, he was incomparably excited. At the same time, in the Dragon Vein secret room beneath the heaven altar, Nangong Wudi's eyes opened. Looking at the half of the dragon Salyer that was continuously trembling, he became excited. How many years has it been? Huh? It's finally here. Everyone in the entire Violet Gold Temple was shocked. Supreme Artifact. The aura that Long Fei released from his shoulder was incomparably overbearing enough to look down on everything. Being crushed by the savage aura emitted from his body made him feel extremely uncomfortable. Give them a big shot. Arrogant? You want qualifications? Get on the stage and slowly talk about qualifications with Laozi. It was also at this time. Nangong has said, Since everyone wants to start earlier, we can start now. We have already built a stage outside the main hall, but we have a small announcement in advance. The competition will end soon. Nangong looked at Xiao Chongfeng and asked, Is there anything Elder Xiao needs to add? Husband Xiao stroked his beard and said, When it comes to martial arts competition, there will always be a good loss and a bad one. So, I suggest that His Majesty come out with this duel this time to see the true strength of these geniuses and to not have any scruples. Of course, I will control the entire audience. Your Majesty, what do you think? Nangong Hua intentionally pondered for a moment, then said, What do you guys think? Nangong Yin was the first to say, I agree. Some trash should not be living in this world and wasting food. Long Fei laughed. You are ruthless. However, I agree. He was really worried that he wouldn't be able to find a place to raise his striking energy value. Killing these people will be enough to raise his energy values by 100. Nangong Hua said, Since everyone agrees, then let's do as Clan Elder Xiao says. Clan Elder Xiao, you must control the situation well. These people are all geniuses that my Fireglass dynasty meets once in 100 years. Any loss to them is a loss to my clan. Xiao Chongfeng replied, Your Majesty, don't worry. Others may not care, but this Long Fei. Nangong Hua immediately laughed and said, In order to cheer things up, My Nangong family has also sent a representative to participate. Aoer, come out. Yes, royal father. A youth walked out from behind the palace. Nagong Ao, the 16th son of Nangong Hoa. It had never appeared in the public before, and even the Prince Nangong, Shao couldn't really remember his younger brother anymore. Nagong Ao walked out. His entire body was clad in black armor. On it were many different types of black runes, and his body was brimming with an extremely strong and explosive force. At this moment, Long Fei's heart sank. Demon Dweller. The faces of the Lu Luoshi sisters also shook as they stared at Nagong Ao. Xiao Tian immediately wanted to say something, but was pulled back by Lu Luoshi and whispered to him. He's not simple. You have to be careful tonight. Demonic cultivator. Nagong Ao. His appearance shocked everyone, but other than the people from the Heaven Sect and Long Fei, no one knew that he was a demonic cultivator. Equals semi/floating life plus. There was a demonic cultivator, and it was a prince. That meant not only was Fireglass Dynasty closely related to the Chao Tian sect, he was also closely connected to a certain devil sect. In other words, he was not the only demonic cultivator tonight. Long Fei's heart sank and thought, seems like Nangong Hua has made sufficient preparations. Chapter 11, 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 Chapter 2, 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 Chapter 8_8419/2356516. Nangong Hua was an old cunning fox. Nangong Hua was an old cunning fox. He did not seem to be involved in the conflict within the Four Pillars, but behind him, he was in control of everything. He had always kept the Nangong Imperial clan out of the picture. He was waiting for a chance to reap the harvest. However, no matter what happened outside the city tonight, he did not want to care about it, because tonight his goal was Long Fei, the dragon sallier on his shoulder. Aoer, let's greet everyone. Nangong was slightly said. Nagong Ao looked down upon everyone as he walked to the Great Hall and coldly laughed. What do you have to greet a group of people who are on the verge of death? Before he could finish speaking, his figure had already left the Great Hall. In just the blink of an eye, his speed was too fast. What shocking speed! 16th Prince, didn't they say that he disappeared on the day he was born? So he was hiding to cultivate? The aura coming from his body is so strong. What level has his cultivation base reached? Everyone's faces changed drastically. They were all upset by Nagong Ao's aura, and some of them were unhappy as well. Nagong Ao was too arrogant. Right when they were talking, Nagong Ao moved slightly, and under the night sky, layers of demons appeared, landing on the stage. He raised his eyes slightly and asked coldly, "Who wants to die first?" "He's too arrogant. I, Luo Yi, am here to seek advice." A white-clothed genius moved his sword, his footsteps trembling as he quickly rushed out of the hall and towards Nagong Ao. "Quick sword hand, Luo Yi. So fast." "Humph." Nagong Ao sneered. The moment Luo Yi came down, his body slightly moved, and he kicked out. Bam! Luo Yi's body flew to another place. Inside the wall of the trap, he coughed out a mouthful of blood, and his body twitched a few times. He lost all signs of life. He was dead. Instant kill. One kick kill. Everyone rushed out of the hall and looked at Luo Yi on the wall. A few guards rushed up to check and said, "Reporting to your majesty, Luo Yi is dead." Dead. Everyone's faces darkened. Nangong Hua was ecstatic in his heart, but he showed a look of reproach on his face and said, "Aoer, stop right there. Don't kill in vain." Damn! Long Fei was shocked. What a strong power. No way. These people are all my experience. True breath, energy values. If you were to kill all of them by himself, what would I do? Long Fei's heart sank. This meant that Nagong Ao had to challenge everyone. In that case, even if Long Fei killed him, he wouldn't be able to obtain 100 energy values. Absolutely not. Moreover, Tonight, he was the main character. However, without waiting for Long Fei to speak, Nangong Yin took a step ahead and said, Emperor Uncle, his cultivation is so high. We are not his match at all. How about we directly let him enter the finals? That way we can test each other's strength. Zhuge Jinxiang looked at Nagong Ao and gave in, saying, The princess is right. His strength should directly enter the finals. Li followed. Yes. Luo, he was also a war chief realm, and was killed instantly when he went up. How strong was Nagong Ao? He was completely dominating their existence. Their goal was to stall Long Fei and kill him. How could they stall Long Fei when he appeared? Nangong was said slightly, I also have that thought. In his heart, he did not want this banquet of Forbidden Peak to end prematurely. Immediately, Nangong was slightly shouted, Ao, or you step back first. Bah! Nagong Ao spat. His face was filled with disdain. The air moved, and he directly flew to the roof of the violet gold temple. A bunch of trash. Nangong was said indifferently. Let's begin. Eunuch Lu, take out all the lots prepared. Let them draw a lot to compete with. Yes, sir. After the drawing of lots was completed, a group of 28 disciples entered the arena. All of them were at the second and third levels of the war chief. Only Long Fei had just broken through the first level of the war chief. Let's begin. Nangong was said, Lot number 1 against number 28. It's me. It's me. It was also at this time that Long Fei lifted the handsome guy's head, walked out, and said indifferently, Tonight, everyone is very clear on who everyone is looking for. Then let's not waste everyone's time. I'll be the arena master. Attack the battle arena. It's good if one of you comes up, but it's also good if all of you come up together. Long Fei jumped out, because according to his calculations, if it was a 1v1 match, he would still not be able to kill all 10 of them, and would still not be able to gather all 100 energy values. Finished. Long Fei looked at Zhuge Jinxiang and said, You are a rapist. Didn't you always feel bad towards me? Second Fully, you are the same, aren't you? Nangong Yin, you have been wanting to kill me this whole time, right? And who among you doesn't want to kill me? Huh? Long Fei shouted loudly. At this moment, Wang Jinglian, Fatty Wang walked over and said, Young Marquis Long, I never thought of killing you. Long Fei looked at Fatty Wang and said, All right, you can be considered an exception. And then, Long Fei continued, Since you're going to kill me, then come at me together. Whoosh! Long Fei walked to the stage. The dragon Salyer shook and shouted, Who wants to be the first one? On the roof. Nagong Ao looked at Long Fei coldly with a look of contempt. Looking at the dragon Salyer in Long Fei's hands, he snorted coldly. What a waste of a heaven's gift. What are they singing this time? Nangong could not see through Long Fei. Phoenix blood lineage. Break through the war chief. Now he wanted to challenge everyone by himself. What was he planning to do? You want to die? So what if you have a dragon Salyer at the beginning of the war chief? Although holy artifacts were important, if one did not have a stage of cultivation, no matter how strong the holy artifact was, it could not be unleashed. A stage was the foundation of everything. He did not even grasp the power of the war chief, and had to challenge these people who were level 2 and 3 of the war chief. Just because Long Fei had killed Nangong Lai before, Long Zhanwu, however, none of this was his own strength. Huff! Nangong was said, Long Fei, do you want to reconsider? And the competition today cannot allow the summoning of War Pet out for battle. This had to be restricted by Long Fei. That's a dragon. It's definitely not simple. Long Fei laughed. Thank you, Your Majesty, for your kind intentions. I have thought about it clearly. Please come. He sneered in his heart and thought, Old fox, I'm afraid you want to see this. Jojo said anxiously, Young master, let me help you. She did not care about the rules of the stage or the banquet of Forbidden Peak. She just wanted to protect Long Fei and prevent him from getting hurt at all. Long Fei immediately said to Lu Luoshi, Hold Jojo. Floating life. Table of contents, no windows. A++ Jojo, I'm fine. Xiao Tiantian also anxiously stomped his feet. What does he want to do? Does he think this is the Long family? Yi Zian also had a face full of worry. Nan Gongyin sneered and said, "You like to show off, don't you? Then I'll let you have enough today." Chapter 12. Keep adding updates to your subscription support. Thank you. 8_8419/2356517. As soon as he finished, Nan Gongyin immediately shouted, "Yi Ming, go?" "Yes, sir." Yi Ming walked out, stared at Long Fei, who was on stage, and sneered, and said, "Long Fei, today I will let you experience the Yi family's sword techniques." Boom! On the stairs, Yi Ming's body exploded. War Chief's chi was released, forming waves of pressure that crushed Xiang Longfei. A powerful aura surged forth, and Yi Ming also moved his body. His long sword transformed into dozens of sword images, sealing off the 360 degrees in the corner of Long Fei's body. There was no place to hide. Yi family's absolute sword art. Once the sword strikes, the entire body will be sealed. Even if the person doesn't die, he will at least be injured. Yi Ming has cultivated this sword technique to the 8th stage. Long Fei has nowhere to hide. Long Fei is unable to withstand the suppression of this cultivation realm, and adding this absolute seal sword technique, it would be even more so. Chua! Long Fei dot. Yi Ming attacked with his sword. Long Fei slightly lifted the dragon salyer, lowered his footsteps, and moved, raging blade form. Break! Chua! The dragon salyer slashed down. Bam! All of the sword flowers sealing his entire body were all forced back by the slay, and the sword aura from the dragon salyer was even able to force Yi Ming to retreat. While he was sick, he had to take his life. Long Fei moved like lightning. With a few popping sounds, he rushed to Yi Ming's side and moved his left fist, mountain hit fist. It was heading straight for his throat. Boom! Crack! With his throat broken, Yi Ming staggered a few steps back and fell off the stage. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Yi Ming for obtaining 320 experience points, 200 true breath, and 100 energy values. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining absolute sword art. Do you wish to learn it? No, exchange points. This kind of low-level sword technique had no interest at all. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for exchanging for 100 points. F***CK. It really is a trash sword technique, only 100 points. Long Fei disdained his heart. The moment he saw Nagong AO, he decided to speed up his steps to raise his points. Ding! Gathering Spirit Bead, absorbing Sword Chi +1. The spiritual gathering pearl began to revolve. Long Fei glanced at it for a bit and faintly said, "I wonder when it will be filled up and how I can refine the sword spirit." One slash of slay. Although it was not an instant kill, Long Fei's slash and punch were close to instantly kill them. Nan Gongyan's forehead turned sinister. His expression was displeased, and his teeth chattered as he said, "Both of you, attack together." With a fierce heart, he said, "Long Fei, tonight, I will definitely kill you." The two of them moved and flew up onto the stage. 2 sword attacks came at him. Each was fatal and merciless. In the Fireglass City, some of the noble young masters who were talented cultivated their sword techniques. These two also trained in sword arts. It was just that, half a minute later, bang bang, the dragon salyer forced them to retreat, and when a mountain hit fist struck out, it killed them again. Ding! Ding! 2 announcements sounded out, and Long Fei stood on stage, grinning. Who else? 30 energy values points. If he killed 7 more people, it would be full. At that time, he would first kill Nangong Hua and see if he could bring out the dragon salyer. If not, then search according to the quest clues. Anyway, Long Fei did not like Nangong Hua. Moreover, this was a command. Once Nangong Hua died, the people of the Long family in the palace would attack. Long Fei also needed time to wait. He did not know the current situation of the Long family. According to the agreement, Meng Yu would defeat the 3 Pillars people and quickly attack the palace. Thus, he needed more time than Nangong Hua and the others. Why did it stop just like that? Come again. Long Fei stood on the stage arrogantly. Nangong Yin, aren't your people too trashy? Ha ha! He couldn't even withstand a single blow. Nangong Yin took a step forward, wanting to rush up, but was pulled back by Dongfang Jian and whispered, "Rotary fight, drag him down to death." Everyone's true breath was limited. After 20 consecutive battles, the consumption of true breath would be about the same. At that time, they would be no different from trash. You guys continue forward. Don't stop. Don't give Long Fei a chance to catch his breath. Why? Are you afraid now? Don't forget what you promised me. Don't forget your family. Nangong Yin said sinisterly. A few more people flew out. Fourth slash, fifth slash, sixth slash. Every time he killed a person, it would be like giving Nangong Yin a slap on the face. Nangong Yin's expression became even more unsightly. Nangong Ho stood silently at the side. He acted as if he did not see anything, and did not let Xiao Changfeng help stop Long Fei from killing him. Nor did he ask Nagong Ao to send anyone out, because he was thinking the same as Dongfang Jian. No matter how powerful Long Fei was, even if he used up all his energy, would still be the last one to fight. Therefore, he wasn't worried at all. 1 hour later. Stop wasting time. All of you, attack together. Long Fei did not want to waste any more time. The Long family's combat power should be more or less over. The Three Pillars army should be almost dead. There was no need to delay any longer. What Long Fei needed to do now was to clear the Long family's obstacles, and find the other half of the dragon Salyer. Bring it on. Nangong Yin, I will screw you on the stage, ha. Long Fei smiled obscenely. He had already gathered all his striking energy value. The time of the massacre had begun. Long Fei, you are too arrogant. Zhuge Jinxiang took a step onto the stage, pointed the sword at the center of Long Fei's brows, and said, "Today, I will let you experience the power of Zhuge Jinxiang." Arrogant. Long Fei smiled slightly and said, "Why do I feel like I'm not arrogant enough?" As soon as he finished, the dragon Salyer on his shoulder slashed out. Zhuge Jinxiang was not afraid. His sword blocked it, and in that moment he suddenly swallowed a pill, and the spirit chi on his body suddenly went berserk. He released the power of a third-stage war chi from all over his body and shouted, "Die!" Bam! Long Fei was pushed back by the chi released by Zhuge Jinxiang and retreated a few steps. Li Yi seized the opportunity and thrusted his sword towards Xiang Long Fei's back. Long Fei's heart sank. The dragon Salyer moved and sat on his back. Bam! Fiery light scattered in all directions, and Long Fei was also knocked forward. He had already mastered the second move of the previous move. Is this all you have? He dares to be so arrogant with this kind of ability? A sword pierced Xiang Long Fei's throat. One in front and one behind, they attacked Long Fei. Long Fei's forehead turned sinister. Suddenly he shook, and the blood light from the dragon Salyer exploded out. Teleport. Shwa. In an instant, he had already jumped out of their attack range. Skin cracking, tendon breaking, skeleton breaking. He released the dragon Salyer techniques, 7 moves, Gale Chop, http:///whoosh, Hurricane Cut, Shwa, Dragon Chop. Chapter 13. Continue to update your support. 8_8419/2356518. The two of them were directly sent flying into the air by the dragon slaying flame saber chi. The two of them were directly sent flying into the air by the dragon slaying flame saber chi. At this moment, Long Fei stood above them, and the dragon Salyer slashed down crazily. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk in just a few seconds, 220 slashes were released. Boom, boom. Zhuge Jinxiang and Li Yi fell from the sky, their bodies only leaving behind their underpants, and there was one word carved on their bodies. One was stupid, the other was awesome, and when combined, they were idiots. Long Fei then killed them. Killing people would only make them feel good for a moment. Only by slowly killing them would it make them feel good. Idiot! Ha ha! Fatty Wong laughed loudly. Young Marquis Long, what type of words are you using? The words were filled with a wild, killing intent. Long Fei landed and said, "Violent grass." Fatty Wong stared blankly for a moment before realization struck him. "Stupid wild grass, what the hell?" "Young Marquis Long, this is too awesome. Crazy grass idiot." "Awesome indeed." Long Fei stared at the half-dead Zhuge Jinxiang below the stage and said, "Powerful female criminal. I arrogant." All of the tendons and veins in Zhuge Jinxiang's body felt like they were broken, and every inch of his skin was in extreme pain, making him feel extremely uncomfortable. However, other than the one word that appeared on their bodies, there were no wounds on their bodies. Other people might not know, but they were very clear on the two of them. Just now, Long Fei used the back of his blade. He purposely used the back of the knife. Zhuge Jinxiang spat out his anger and roared, "Long Fei, F***K your ancestors." Li Yi also scolded, "Long Fei, don't you know that you are about to die? Your Long family has already disappeared from the Fireglass City. Your grandfather, eldest uncle, all of your Long family's disciples are dead. Right now, you're the only one left in the Long family, and you still dare to act so arrogantly in front of us. Well, you're still being arrogant even when you're about to die. Continue being arrogant." Having been humiliated in front of so many people, the anger contained in his heart could no longer be restrained. Zhuge Jinxiang did the same, and said, "Long Fei, kneel down and kowtow to this daddy. This daddy will give you a complete corpse. When my father and the others arrive, I will see how you can still act so arrogantly." Eldest senior sister, will 3 pillars make a move on the Long family tonight? The 3 Heaven Sect sisters were not too clear about this matter. Lu Luoshi immediately said, "No wonder there were screams coming from outside the palace. Could it be that they are attacking the Long family and are causing so much trouble just to drag Long Fei out? Too despicable." Xiao Tiantian immediately stepped forward and said, "Long Fei, hurry up and go save Grandfather Long and the others." Long Fei stood on the stage with a faint smile still on his face and said, "I don't know about Zhuge Jinxiang, but I know very well that your father is already waiting for you on the path to the Yellow Springs. Because, a few minutes ago, a system notification rang out. Zhuge Tianlong was defeated by Xiao Bai." Zhuge Jinxiang laughed coldly and said, "Long Fei, do you think I've been swindled growing up? Based on the Long family survival? Ha ha ha. I'm afraid your grandfather and the others are waiting for you on the road to River Styx." "All right, I don't want to waste word with you either. Nangong Yin, you're the last one left." Long Fei didn't want to waste time with him, so she looked at Nangong Yin and said, "Didn't you always want to end the engagement? I have an end to you today. If you can beat me, then there's nothing to worry about. If you can't defeat me, then obediently accompany me for 3 days and 3 nights. I'll definitely cherish you well." Fireglass City's #1 beauty, Nangong Yin was enraged. With a loud shout, his right hand moved and grabbed out a magic weapon, a heaven-ranked sword. This was Dongfang Jian's sword. Sky sword art. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Nangong Yan's figure instantly transformed into an endless sea of killing intent that filled the sky as he stabbed at Xiang Longfei. Lu Luoshi's face changed greatly as he stared at Dongfang Jian. "Eastern Senior Fellow Apprentice, you actually taught the heaven-ranked sword technique of the former sect to an outsider. I will definitely report this to the sect master." Dongfang Jian laughed indifferently. "Nangong Yin has an inner sect badge. She is an inner sect disciple of the Heaven Sect. She is not considered an outsider." Xiao Tiantian shouted, "Dongfang Jian, you are truly not an ordinary lowly person. You're truly despicable to the point of wanting to die." The muscles at the corner of Dongfang Jian's eyes twitched, and he said, "You better respect your words. Xiao Tiantian, if it wasn't for your father, I would definitely have taught you a lesson today." Xiao Tiantian was never afraid of getting into big trouble, and said, "Come on, teach this miss a lesson. I'll see if you have the ability to." Dongfang Jian stared at him and bellowed, "Do you think I don't dare?" At this moment, swoosh swoosh, The heavenly illusion sword technique had already been cultivated by Nangong Yin to the 5th stage, and it was extremely powerful. The sword chi that filled the sky and the killing intent that filled the sky were all unleashed in an instant, stabbing Xiang Longfei. Huff! Longfei calmed down and closed his eyes. He tried to use his chi to sense the situation. The heavenly illusion sword was very strong. After reaching the 5th level, one would be able to see countless phantoms. You had no idea which of these phantoms was the real one, but they were illusory and couldn't be detected at all. Phew! Suction! Huff! The sword stabbed down. Jojo's palms broke out in a cold sweat, and his heart was incomparably anxious. Young master, young master, young master. The 3 Lu Laoshi sisters did not have the mood to argue with Dongfang Jian anymore. As they were all worried about him, Longfei, Zhuge Jinxiang laughed. Longfei continued to be arrogant, haha. Li also laughed loudly. Let's see how you still act so arrogantly. The last member of the Long family is going to die. Ha ha ha. The heavenly illusion sword was truly powerful. Nangong Hua was secretly happy. With Long Fei's death, the dragon sallier would be his. He also unceasingly laughed maniacally in his heart. They were all laughing. They were all eager for Long Fei to die in the stage. He's already closed his eyes. Is he giving up on resisting? In the end, Long Fei was still unable to fly. He had only just broken through the War Chief realm, and the dragon sallier technique could not be used for a period of time. So in front of the illusory sky sword technique, he had no leeway to use it. Long Fei is going to lose. Trash is trash after all. After killing so many people, he's about to die. The Long family has been annihilated. Lunatic Long and the others are waiting for him on the path to the Yellow Springs. Haha. Kill him. Nangong Yin was the same. He was also excited in his heart. All of the accumulated rage during this period of time had been completely unleashed. Long Fei, I once swore that I will definitely make you die by my hands. Now, die for me. Sky illusion sword kill. The illusions that filled the sky suddenly retracted and pierced Xiang Longfei's forehead, and at the same time, a sword appeared in Long Fei's sea of consciousness. http://suddenly. Long Fei raised his eyes, just at this time. A system notification rang out. Ding. The 14th chapter. Continue with the update. 8_8419/2356519. It sounded like a system beep. Ding. Congratulations to the player, Long Fei, for comprehending the solitary 9 swords. Do you wish to cultivate it? Skill path, solitary 9 swords grade. Divine grade consumption, 10,000 points per move description. 1 move for 1 sword. Formless slay. A simple description. Long Fei himself was secretly shocked as well. He didn't think that he would actually comprehend the solitary 9 swords in such a short time, and was overjoyed. The moment he opened his eyes, a sinister voice came out. Using a blade and sword, a sword struck out. Long Fei then shouted, "Raise the sword." With the pull of a dragon sallier, 1 move, 1 stab. The half of the broken blade was directly aimed at the tip of Nangong Yan's sword. Buzz! 2 streams of sword cheese gushed out in all directions. They continued to collide, wreak havoc, and kill each other. The battle between the heavenly illusion sword technique and the solitary 9 swords. Nangong Yan's face turned sinister. Blood leaked out from the corner of his mouth as he screamed in a shrill voice. The 6th move. Sky Fantasia kill. Boom! Her figure suddenly changed as she released the apparition that was originally retracting from her body. This time, it was different from the mirage from before, becoming even more ferocious. Every afterimage was real. The illusions dispersed and surrounded Long Fei. It will never change. The true breath in Long Fei's body started to surge. The value of the true breath was once again reduced by 10,000 points, his heart turning sinister. Broken sword style. Kill. The dragon sallier raised her hand. The shocking sword spirit was released from Long Fei's body, and then burst out from the dragon sallier, crazily releasing a sword downwards. Bang, bang, bang. The sky was filled with the unceasing sound of exploding thunder. Nangong Yan's move, Heavenly Illusion Absolute Killing Strike, was completely destroyed, and all of the surrounding illusions disappeared. They were crushed by the sword intent released by Long Fei's body. Uff. One sword and one slay. Nangong Yin spat out a huge mouthful of blood towards the sky and was sent flying back, heavily smashing down below the stage. His face was extremely pale, and he stared at Long Fei. Impossible, absolutely impossible. You are not my opponent. As she spoke, crack, crack, crack. The sword in her hand emitted a series of cracking sounds. Clang. A magic weapon treasure, sword shattered like thin ice, completely crushed by the shocking sword spirit. Dongfang Jin's eyes were filled with anger. That was the treasured sword his father had given him. Long Fei, you're too arrogant. His body moved. With a grimace between his eyebrows, he took out a long sword and formed tens of thousands of illusions as he rushed towards Xiang Longfei. Real and fake. Emptiness. Kill. Long Fei's heart sank again. The Dragon Salyer's body released the power of the Wild Mountain Devil and Divine Tiger Blood lineage, turning into a blood-colored sword chi. Be careful, young lord. Stop. The sword intent of Long Fei's strike was simply too strong. The hearts of people were trembling, and it was impossible for the furious Dongfang Jian to be a match for this shocking sword spirit when he had lost his reason. All of you scram. Boom. The sword images that were visible to the naked eye shot out one after another from Long Fei's body. After this slash, all of the images flew up into the air. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. It kept stabbing out. Xiao Changfeng grabbed onto Dongfang Jian. He turned his body, and all of them blocked the afterimages of the swords, releasing the powerful War Elder Realm cultivation, using all of it for defense. Even so, he couldn't hold on any longer, spitting out blood. 108 strikes. Puff. Xiao Changfeng spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, firmly holding on to Dongfang Jian, and said, Young master, you're not his opponent. You're not his opponent at all before you break through the War Elder Realm. Dongfang Jian did not pity Xiao Changfeng. He helped himself block the sword, so there was no need for him to be concerned about it at all. He stared at Long Fei, his eyes burning with anger. He was unwilling. He was extremely unwilling. Long Fei said arrogantly, Brother Green Hat, come again. You. Dongfang Jian clenched his teeth, feeling extremely unwell. The surroundings were completely silent, terrifyingly quiet. What kind of sword intent was that? What sword technique did Long Fei use just now? Without any moves, it was just like a normal drawing of a sword. It was just like lifting a sword. It was extremely normal, but how could he release shocking sword spirit? It was too shocking. Moreover, even Xiao Changfeng, who was in the War Elder Realm, could not withstand the attack of this sword intent and suffered internal injuries. Everyone was wondering in their hearts just what had happened in the past year. Long Fei became too terrifying. Long Fei grinned and stared at Nangong Yan. Are you convinced? Do you still want an engagement? Without waiting for her to climb up the stage, Long Fei suddenly stepped on her face and shouted, I gave you face, right? Bam! With one kick, Nangong Yan was sent flying. Zhuge Jinxiang roared out, saying, Long Fei, don't be too arrogant. Long Fei turned his gaze towards Zhuge Jinxiang and sneered, and said, Arrogant? Why do I feel like I'm not arrogant enough? Suddenly, Long Fei jumped down and rested his blade on Zhuge Jinxiang's shoulder. He gave a cold laugh. I want to be a little more arrogant. Finished. The true breath surged, and the bloodlight and sword chi from the Dragon Salyer were released. The aura of the blade was like the aura of death that pervaded Zhuge Jinxiang's surroundings. His body was trembling as he said fiercely, Long Fei, if you dare to kill me, my father will not let you go. My grandfather will not let you go. Puchi. Blade chi rolled out, wrapping around Zhuge Jinxiang's neck. The Dragon Salyer slightly moved. Crack. Zhuge Jinxiang's head rolled down from his neck. His eyes were still staring straight at Long Fei, He was still enraged, his mouth open wide, but no sound came out. While they were talking, Long Fei stomped his foot down heavily. Bam! Zhuge Jinxiang's head was stepped on until it exploded. He laughed coldly and said, "If I don't kill you, how can I call you arrogant?" Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Zhuge Jinxiang for gaining EXP. True Breath 500 points. Energy values 100 points. Blood sprayed wildly. His body was split into two. Everyone looked at the corpse on the ground, then at Long Fei. That feeling was too terrifying. Li Yi scrambled out as he shouted, "Your Majesty, save me! Your Majesty, quickly save me! Long Fei, you are a madman. Your Long family has been annihilated. Right now, you're the only one left in the Long family. As long as you don't kill me, I'll definitely make my father spare your life. Don't kill me, don't. Ah." Long Fei moved the center of his brows, the ferocious blade aura on the dragon's salure, slashing down once again. Bam! Li Yi died. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing E for obtaining an experience point. True Breath 500 points, energy values 100 points. After killing Li Yi, Long Fei slowly walked back to the stage. Looking at Nangong Hua, he laughed sinisterly. "Your Majesty, it's your son's turn." Chapter 15, Berserk. Thank you for your support. Thank you. Brother, please help the C to promote a bit more. QQ Space, WeChat, Weibo can all be promoted so that more friends can see this book. 8_8419/2356520. A ball of fire pressed down from Nangong Hua's heart. A ball of fire pressed down from Nangong Hua's heart. Long Fei kept on killing the 28 geniuses, other than Wang Jing. All of them were killed by Long Fei. Killed him right in his face. Moreover, when he was killing Zhuge Jinxiang and Li Yi, Nangong Hua could feel the killing intent in Long Fei's eyes. "Aoa!" Nangong Hua frowned, then shouted loudly, "Fight!" Haha! Nagong Ao, who was on the roof, laughed sinisterly, then flew down to the ground, looked at Long Fei, who was on the stage, and said, "Interesting, very interesting. Your pubes has been shattered and your dragon blood has been drawn out, but you can ignore all of this and still continue on with your cultivation. Also, your sword skills, techniques, and blade skills are all high quality. I really want to know how you did it." He had been paying attention to Long Fei. Long Fei watched every move. The true breath in his body was surging very strangely. It did not go through the pubes S. Long Fei's heart trembled. He did not reveal any expression, and secretly thought, "Did you see through it?" No one had suspected him in such a long time. Nagong Ao's words greatly shook his heart. He had to say, these were Long Fei's deepest secrets, and no matter who it was, they were not allowed to know them. Nagong Ao finally understood. Then, he only had one result. Long Fei laughed faintly. "I would really like to know how you managed to join the blood refining sect. Or could it be that your Nangong Imperial clan is already a branch of the blood refinement sect?" Nagong Ao frowned. Nangong Hua's expression also changed greatly. Xiao Tian suddenly thought of something that happened and said fiercely, "No wonder the blood refinement sect suddenly disappeared at the auction the last time we went there. We searched the entire city but didn't find anything. So you were hiding in the Imperial Palace." Lu Luoshi's eyes were ice cold as he looked at Nangong Hua and said, "What a great clan of the Nangong Imperial clan." The muscles at the corner of Nangong Hua's eyes twitched, and under his sleeves he clenched his fists as though his tail was being stepped on. His expression was extremely ugly, and he said with a heavy voice, "Ao, kill." "Humph." Long Fei smiled and said, "What? I saw through it?" "Ha ha! Long Fei, you are indeed very smart, smarter than I had expected." Nangong Hua laughed madly and said, "However, so what? You should know what the Long family is up to right now, right? Do you think you can escape from here today?" Nangong Hua didn't want to hide anything and started to laugh loudly. Xiao Chongfeng's brows sank, and he asked, "Your Majesty, the Nangong Imperial clan has really joined the blood refining sect." Nan Gonghua looked at Xiao Changfeng with contempt and said, "In the beginning, I was a little afraid of you, but now you are just a cripple. You don't pose even the slightest threat to me." That's right. Our Nangong imperial clan has long been a branch of the blood refinement sect. Tonight's goal is Long Fei, but now, since you all know about it, then don't even think about leaving. Nangong was shouted. Next, 18 black figures suddenly flew in from outside the violet gold temple. All of them had the symbol of the blood refinement sect on their chests. They were all experts from the blood refinement sect. With the Long family's annihilation outside the city, it was impossible for the Nangong Hua in the palace to not make preparations. This was his preparation, an expert from the blood refinement sect. The Violet Gold Temple was a huge trap, and from the moment Long Fei stepped into the Violet Gold Temple, it was destined that he wouldn't be able to escape tonight. Haha, Beauty of the Heavens sect, we meet again. A black-clothed man from the blood refinement sect said. Lu Luoshi frowned, his mind trembling. Yi Zian immediately asked, "Senior sister is him? The one who was in Fireglass Mountain Range last time is him?" "Ha! You finally remembered me. I've thought about it for half a year now. None of you three will be able to escape tonight, huh?" The man laughed. All three of them felt their hearts tighten. That night, if not for Long Fei, they would have become playthings of the blood refinement sect and become blood slaves. Xiao Changfeng became furious and shouted, "Nangong Hua, have you thought about the consequences?" "Ha! Consequences?" Nangong Hua laughed out wildly and said, "The result is that you all will have to die here tonight. The result is that no one will ever know what happened." But Nangong Hua stared at Long Fei, who was on the stage, and said, "All of this is because of you, Long Fei. As long as you obediently hand over the dragon salyer and kneel down, I will give you a complete corpse. I've never enjoyed the knees of your Long family in all my years as an emperor." Long Fei laughed, but he was not afraid, and said, "You want me to kneel before you, and yet you want me to kneel before you on a dragon salyer, just based on trash like you?" "Ha!" Nangong Hua laughed out loud and said, "You're too conceited, too arrogant. Do you really think you're invincible?" "Humph!" Long Fei also laughed. "Am I arrogant? I really don't feel arrogant. However, since you've said it like that, let me show you how arrogant I am today." Suddenly, Long Fei moved. The dragon salyer suddenly fought and directly slashed at Nagong Ao. No matter what, Nagong Ao had to die, because he knew something he shouldn't have known. Nagong Ao laughed coldly. "Is that all you're worth? Today, I will experience what is called sword intent." Buzz. Nagong Ao's body trembled. He summoned out a blood sword. The moment the sword appeared, a young blood spirit wrapped around the blood sword and floated in the air, like a small ball of ghost flame. Sword spirit. Long Fei's heart sank, and the spirit gathering pearl in his body also started to beat. Nagong Ao laughed. "Not bad. You still have some experience. Since you know that it's a sword spirit, then you should know its power." The blood spirit was not a sword spirit. However, this could also be considered a sword spirit infant. Sword spirits were formed from this type of spirit. Raising a sword spirit required an extremely strong sword intent. It could be seen how strong Nagong Ao was. "Haha!" Long Fei laughed and said, "It's mine now." Suddenly, the dragon salyer moved. The true breath wreaked havoc. Long Fei closed his eyes. Invisibly, his figure kept on releasing. A figure releasing a sword technique. A figure moved. Nagong Ao sneered, pretending to be mysterious. "Get down." Buzz! A bloody light exploded on his blood sword, and all the power in his body was unleashed. This was how his battles were like. Each time he used his full strength. The Jedi didn't give the other side any chance. A sword was sent out. The sinister blood spirit charged towards the center of Xiang Longfei's brows. Huff. Baidu search. Half afloat. Inhale. Huff. Longfei's eyes were wide opened, as though he was enraged, and, at the same time, the indistinct shadow returned to his place, and the dragon salyer in his hands moved. 10,000 swords returned to sect. Slay. The first chapter, Turn Around and Shed Tears Without a Trace. Gorgeous, dazzling, presumptuous is called Youth, OMG, and a large group of brothers as a reward. Hyong thanks all of you for your support. Thank you. 8_8419/2356521. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Violent sword hums constantly rang out. Next. Shwa. A sword flew out, uncontrollably flying out. My sword, my sword. I can't control it. What's the situation? My sword is completely out of control. I can't catch it. I can't catch it at all. All the swords were being controlled by the aura on Long Fei's body, as though there was another gigantic magnet on his body, causing the swords on their bodies to tremble violently. Dongfang Jian's sword could not even support flying out with a whoosh. Xiao Changfeng's sword was the same. Lu Laoshi and the three sisters' swords also flew out. Everyone's swords flew to the top of Xiang Longfei's head, spinning nonstop. The ones that injured Xiao Changfeng were only the illusionary swords, but this time they were all real swords. Dozens of swords began to spin. Long Fei moved his body and stabbed forward. Break for me! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! Asterisk, boom, boom, boom. When the 10,000 swords returned to the sect, the gods and ghosts were shocked. Nagong Ao's expression changed greatly. This time, Long Fei's strength had once again exceeded his expectations. Walala! Walla! The blood spirit could not withstand the pressure and cried out as it retreated. Several tens of swords flew down, and at this moment, Long Fei's dragon Salyer suddenly changed. In the air, he consecutively slashed out 7 moves. Dragon Chop, Chua. Just as the flying swords were constantly flying towards Nagong Ao, Long Fei released his Dragon Chop. At this moment, the swords and sabers chimed together. The sword danced wildly. It wreaked havoc in the surroundings. Teleport. Long Fei's body moved. The hurricane slash swept Nagong Ao up into the air and released the Dragon Chop. The blood-colored sword Qi and the flaming blade Qi fused together. At the same time, the roar of the wild mountain devil. The divine tiger's angry roars overlapped. In midair, Long Fei was like a god of death, a dancing god of death, madly killing everything on his path. 100 slashes. Chua. 160 slashes. Chua. 220th slash die. Boom. Looking at the last drop of blood on top of Nagong Ao's head, Long Fei roared out and released his last slash. Boom. Countless cracks covered Nagong Ao's body, but not even blood flowed out from the cracks, as though the blood had been cut off and forgotten. Nagong Ao crawled up from the ground as he furiously roared with his head raised. Long Fei, I want. I. Pucci. His entire body was divided into 220 pieces and was separated from his body piece by piece. Save me, save me, save me. The incomparably arrogant Nagong Ao at this moment was not one bit arrogant. Bam! In the end, his head flew out and rolled at Nagong Ho's feet. Long Fei moved a bit, placing his shoulder on top of it, and swept his eyes across the place. Fuck! Who else is there? His domineering aura leaked out. Arrogant. Arrogant beyond belief. At this moment. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Nagong Ao, disciple of the Blood Refinement sect, for obtaining 100 experience points, 120 true breath, 100 energy values, and 100 points. Congratulations to the player Long Fei for obtaining the Blood Spirits Fusion. Congratulations to player Long Fei. A series of notifications sounded. If not for the fact that Long Fei wanted to leave striking energy value with Nagong Hua, he really wanted to explode with Nagong Ao. After all, he was a genius disciple of the Blood Refinement sect. Without waiting for Long Fei's order. Ding! The Spirit Gathering Pearl has swallowed the Blood Spirit. Ding! The Spiritual Gathering Pearl has been filled. Ding! Do you want to release it? Please choose your weapon. Long Fei thought for a while, then said, I don't even have a sword. I can't just bring the dragon salyer up there, right? The blade is a blade, and the sword is a sword. They all have their own unique characteristics. Dragon Salyer's solitary 9 swords was indeed powerful. However, this was because Dragon Salyer themselves were strong and were just holy artifact. If the same holy artifact level sword was used to release this solitary 9 swords, then even more damage would be released. Thus, Longfei thought for a moment, then said, "Not fusing yet." He thought to himself, "I should think of a way to make a sword." Everyone was stunned. Nagong Ao was instantly killed. When he first appeared, he was so arrogant and superior that he could kill a person instantly with a single kick on the stage. But kill them instantly. That wild dance of sword and blood was simply too shocking. In the end, when Nagong Ao died, his entire body was separated from his body. Nangongho's body slightly sank, and he was slightly unable to stand steadily. His body swayed as he muttered, Nagong Ao was his most proud son. He was also the strongest son in terms of martial arts training. The reason why he had hidden away for 16 years was so that he could amaze the world with one move. But she was killed the moment she thought about it. He was going crazy. Nangongho bellowed. Longfei, I will kill you. Longfei laughed contemptuously. Everyone says that they want to kill me. So normally, those who talk to me like this will all die under my hands in the end. All right, Nangongho, I'm already at the top of the ZG realm. Longfei smiled faintly and said, "Shouldn't you be giving me an additional title?" "Right, Elder Shao. Do you want to give me your Heaven Sex qualification token?" Longfei laughed. Without any hesitation, Xiao Chongfeng took out an order badge from his bosom and threw it to Longfei. "Longfei, take care of yourself." Finished. Xiao Chongfeng supported Dongfang Jian and was about to leave. Nangongho let out a heavy roar and said, "Did I let you leave?" Xiao Chongfeng frowned and said, "Nangongho, you dare." Longfei didn't care about their flame war. Instead, he looked at Fatty Wong and said, "Today, you are the only one who stood on my side. You're very lucky because you're on the right side. This token is yours." After Longfei received the order badge, he directly threw it to Wang Jinglian. When the order badge flew in the air, Longfei smiled and said, "Fatty Wong, accepting this means that you are a member of my Long family. If Nangongho wants to kill you, it's fine even if you don't accept it." Not waiting for him to finish, Wang Jing stepped forward and took the token in his hands. "Young Marquis Long, I'll follow you from now on." "Ha ha!" Fatty Wong still agreed to Longfei's temper. Seeing him accept the token, Zhang Xian smiled. Then, Longfei moved, pointed at Nangongho, and said, "The next one is you." Chapter 2, 8_8419/2356522. It was also at this time. Ding! A system announcement rang out in Longfei's mind. Congratulations to the player, Longfei, for completing the peak of the Purple Taboo quest. Congratulations to player Longfei for obtaining a bit of experience points, point of true breath, and 1,000 points reward. Ding! Congratulations to player Longfei for obtaining the S rating. Yes! Longfei clenched his fists tightly and became excited. Only by completing the S rank would he be able to obtain a special reward, which was also a special reward related to the Dragon Salyer mission. Ding! Congratulations to the player Longfei for obtaining the clue to the Dragon Salyer's task reward, the Supreme Temple. Tai Temple. Longfei's heart sank and thought to himself, "The other half of the Dragon Salyer is at the Tai Temple? Ha! Now you don't have to worry about it anymore." Once the mission was completed, the other half of the Dragon Salyer knew about it. Now what was left was to kill, and that was to explode. Longfei yelled again and said, "Nangongho, the next one is you." Huh? Ha! Nangongho laughed out loud and said, "Challenge me." Longfei, do you really think you're my match? Do you really think you can make it out tonight? Your Long family has already been annihilated, The sounds of battle outside the palace have disappeared. In other words, the Three Pillars family has won, and you are only the last survivor of the Long family. Are you only at the first level of war, Chief? Nan Gongho was extremely disdainful. Everything tonight was prepared for Long Fei. There was a Three Pillars outside the palace and an expert from the blood refinement sect inside the palace. From the very beginning, Nan Gongho wanted to cut the grass at its roots. While he was speaking, a guard anxiously ran in and whispered into Nan Gongho's ear. Nan Gongho's face changed. He stared at Long Fei and bellowed. "What did you say?" At this moment, Long Fei laughed. "Nan Gongho, just who was it that was killed?" His voice suddenly rose as Long Fei sneered. "You think that a mere Three Pillars would be able to destroy my Long family?" Nan Gongho's anger roiled. Her voice was trembling as she said solemnly, "Long Fei, so it turns out that you had been prepared for a long time now. The Long family's army was brought into the city by you without anyone noticing. I don't even know anything." At this moment, the Long family's army had already surrounded the palace. The Long family's army was victorious in all aspects. Nan Gong Yan's eyes trembled as he said, "Your Majesty, what did you say?" My father, they lost." "Ha ha!" Long Fei laughed wildly and said, "Nan Gong Yan, do you still think that our Long family will lose without a doubt?" Not only did your father lose, all of your father's Nangong army were already killed. From the moment Nangong gave his reward to my grandfather, I swore to make your family pay. The price is death. And then, Long Fei looked at Nangonghua coldly and laughed. "Nangonghua, do you have the qualifications to fight with me now? Long family's army has already taken over the palace. You don't have the qualifications to fight me, huh?" Long Fei continued to speak. "Nangonghua, if you kneel down and kowtow to this daddy now, I will never enjoy the feeling of being kowtowed to someone from the Nangong family." "Ah!" Nangonghua roared. "Long Fei, you're too arrogant." Long Fei said, "How arrogant? Why do I feel like I'm not wild enough? Ha ha ha. So what if the Long family army has surrounded the palace? Do you think that someone with military merits from the Long family can come in?" Nangonghua said in a deep voice, "Even if the Long family's army invades, you will still die before them. Don't even think about escaping." Nangonghua shouted, "Disciples of the blood refinement sect, listen up. Kill them all." Huh. The 18 experts of the blood refinement sect suddenly moved, and one of them transformed into a boundless blood shadow that crushed Xiang Longfei, an expert of the war elder realm. The pressure was like a mountain crushing down heavily. Long Fei was unable to move, and he hated the feeling of being suppressed by the pressure the most. "Who dares to touch my master?" Roar! A white silhouette flashed past, and Xiaobai opened his bloody mouth to directly swallow the expert from the blood refining sect. Rumble! An incomparably ferocious white wolf, standing beside, Long Fei roared out, and the might of a divine beast completely exploded outwards. "Who the hell dares to touch my master?" "Ah, who? If you have the guts, then stand up for lousy." "Damn it, too domineering." The experts of the blood refining sect instantly retreated and were shocked by the aura of a divine beast on Xiao Bai's body to the point where they spat out blood. Divine beast? The three sisters were the most shocked. Xiao Bai is actually a divine beast? Why didn't you notice it before? Only divine beasts could speak before they reached the level of paragons. Nangonghua was absolutely furious in his heart. Long Fei had all kinds of good things, including holy artifact-s, divine-level techniques, and even the women of Phoenix blood lineage. Besides a huge dragon, there was also a divine beast, White Wolf. He hated it. He gritted his teeth in hatred. Nangonghua's fists shook. The clothes on his body instantly burst apart from the force, and he said sinisterly, "On that day, I should have killed you. It's all my fault for being soft-hearted at the moment." Long Fei's gaze turned sinister as he said, "The one who extracted my dragon blood and crushed the pubes was actually you." "Ha ha!" Nangonghua laughed crazily. "Back then, I killed you one sword strike at a time. I really shouldn't have kept you here." Right now, he felt incomparable regret. Back then, he wanted the entire Fireglass City to laugh at the Long family for producing such a trash, but he never expected that Long Fei would rise up like a soaring dragon a year later. He regretted it too much. Nangonghua continued, "Not only you, all of the past geniuses of your Long family, and the untimely death of the Dragon God warriors were all done by our Nangong Imperial clan. In your Dragon Salyer, it was our Nangong Imperial clan that used the killing array to kill him when he was in Fireglass City. It was just that we didn't expect him to use his last breath to cut our Dragon Salyer in half. The Long family must be exterminated. Who would have thought that all of this was done by the Nangong Imperial clan? Who could imagine?" Right at this time, Nangong was suddenly roared. "Where are the Imperial Guards?" "Ah! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk, golden-armored warriors rushed out from all directions. They moved their spears and shouted in unison, their voices shaking the heavens. "Kill them all." Nangonghua pulled out his sword and pointed it at Xiang Longfei, saying, "Kill." At this moment, Longfei simultaneously roared out, "Kill." Yuan Bin took out his long sword and tore off the armor on his right arm, revealing a red cloth. At this moment, half of the Imperial Guards tore off the armor on their right shoulder, revealing the red cloth. "Kill." Whoosh, 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 asterisk. "Oh, why did you kill me?" In less than a minute, 300 to 400 Imperial Guards were killed by their men. Nangonghua was dumbfounded. Chapter 3, 8_8419/2356523. How could he have imagined that the Imperial Guards that were directly under the command of the Nangong Imperial clan would have so many Long family members? How could he have imagined that the Imperial Guards that were directly under the command of the Nangong Imperial clan would have so many Long family members? What was going on? For a moment, even he didn't know how to react. Long Fei smiled slightly. "Do you think that the people from the Long family are idiots? Do you think that the people of the Long family are just going to be manipulated by you, Nangonghua, all these years? If the Long family did not consider their loyalty and filial piety, replacing your Nangong Imperial clan would be as simple as squashing an ant to death. It is your Nangong Imperial clan that is heartless to my Long family. Today, your Nangong Imperial clan will pay the price for this." Long Fei killed him with every word he said. At this point, Long Fei was definitely not merciful in the slightest. What Nangonghua had said made him want to kill the Nangong family. He was definitely not going to give him the slightest chance. Good. Nangonghua laughed sinisterly. "Even if I missed you in all my calculations, you have exceeded my expectations, but this world, the strong are respected you. It's just a piece of trash whose dragon blood was drawn out and whose pubes was shattered." While they were talking, boom, Nangonghua's body suddenly exploded as his upper body turned scarlet. He took a step forward, boom. The surrounding people were all forced to retreat. Boom. A deep footprint immediately appeared on the thick marble. Taking 2 steps forward, he fiercely flew forward and with a flick of his fingers, locked onto Xiang Longfei's throat and said, "Brat, go and die. Longfei, be careful. Young master, be careful. Young lord." Xiaobai was enraged. He released the power of a divine beast. His eyes turned sinister. A powerful divine beast rushed out. "With just you." He instantly charged forward. Roar. Nangonghua punched out. Xiaobai blocked it. But in that moment, Nangonghua's figure suddenly disappeared, his surroundings turning into a blood mist. And after that, Xiaobai's battle experience was too little. He did not understand the insidiousness of the human heart. He suddenly shouted in alarm, "Master, be careful." Too late. Nangonghua suddenly appeared out of thin air. His hand was only a few centimeters away from Long Fei's throat, but he did not say anything. Even with these few centimeters, he could not enter even half a centimeter. Because an air shield appeared on Long Fei's body. Invincible defense. The power of the Wild Mountain Devil's sacred art. Long Fei's back was drenched in cold sweat. He had to admit that Nangonghua's cultivation was extremely high, If not for Long Fei's quick reaction, his throat would have already been broken. Looking at the sinister expression on Nan Gonghua's face, Long Fei's right arm sank. Right arm's godly strength. Boom! A punch exploded. It struck on Nan Gonghua's abdomen. It was also at this moment. The air shield on Long Fei's body disappeared. Nan Gonghua was also flung out. This punch took Long Fei 3 whole minutes to brew. All of his power was released. Although the large power King Kong Ape's power could not kill him in a second, a scarlet number floated up above Nan Gonghua's head. At the same time, the blood on top of Nan Gonghua's head also showed up. It was a whole 1,000,000 points. Who? Boss level. Long Fei grinned excitedly. He didn't wait for Nan Gonghua to get up from the ground. Whoosh! Both of Long Fei's fists exploded, and like lightning, he blasted out. Bang, bang, bang. It was like a violent storm. Every punch was filled with all the power one could muster. Nan Gonghua frantically tried to resist, trying his best to resist. However, Long Fei's fists did not cause too much damage. They were all in 3 figures. It was too low. Splitting pulse art. Boom! Both fists smashed onto the ground, causing the ground to crack as a huge force of vibration bounced Nan Gonghua off his feet. At this very moment, both of Long Fei's fists moved and blasted out like heavy cannons. Mountain hit fist. Boom! It was a heavy blow. Nan Gonghua's body was sent flying in the air. While he was sick, he had to take his life. Long Fei did not miss such an excellent opportunity. Nan Gonghua was already stunned. If he was given half a second to regain his senses, Long Fei would not be his match. The difference in realm was too big. The realm was everything. No matter how strong the holy artifact was, no matter how strong the technique was, without a class advantage, these things could not be displayed. Wushuang! Wong! With one step, Long Fei rushed into the sky and opened Wushuang's door. All attributes were doubled. Teleport. Whoosh! With one step, and the instant he flew, Long Fei held the dragon salyer in his hand and hacked out 7 times as he shouted at Nan Gonghua, who was in mid-air. Dragon chop. Boom! Whoosh, 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 asterisk, whoosh, 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 asterisk below Wushuang. His attributes were doubled. Beneath the dragon salyer, the damage of the dragon salyer technique increased by a ton, continuously slashing. 107th slash. 123 slashes. 200 slashes. 220th slash break. Boom! Nan Gonghua's body heavily fell down, smashing onto the ground. A deep crater was formed on the ground, and the entire palace was trembling. Nan Gonghua did not die. 1,000,000 HP was simply too much. He got up from the ground and laughed maniacally. Ha ha! Long Fei, you won't be able to kill me. Trash like you won't be able to kill me. You're too weak, haha. Can't we kill him? You only have a measly 100,000 points left, and you still dare to act so arrogantly here? Long Fei sneered in his heart, and his voice gradually grew louder. You're being arrogant in front of me? I'll let you know what happens if you continue to act so arrogantly in front of me. Solitary 9 swords. 10,000 swords returned to sect. Boom! Long Fei was furious. The true breath continued to wreak havoc. At the same time, the swords of the Imperial Guards all flew towards Long Fei, who was in the air. Long Fei's idea sunk. He rushed towards Nan Gonghua, who was in the deep pit, and shouted, I shall see if you die or not. Kill! Whoosh, 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 asterisk, boom, boom, boom. Each of the flying swords exploded downwards like a bomb, causing scarlet red damage to continuously float upwards above Nan Gonghua's head. Arrogant? Motherf asterisk her. Continue being arrogant for lousy. Can't kill you. Shout again. Long Fei was furious as well. He swung his dragon salyer and descended from the sky and slashed down with his blade. Nan Gonghua was smashed to the ground and knelt down. His bun was scattered everywhere, and his entire body was dripping with blood. Looking at Long Fei, who was in the sky, Nan Gonghua's entire body was trembling. You can't kill me, you can't. Finally, Nan Gonghua shouted loudly, Father, save me. Boom! The sky above Violet Gold Temple exploded loudly. The clouds churned, and a huge face appeared within the clouds as he shouted angrily, "Stop! Master Nangong! Nangong Woody's face! Stop! Who the hell are you? If you tell Lousy to stop, then stop." Long Fei opened his mouth and roared, "Sage asterisk T, stop your sister." Table of contents die. Without caring about anything else, the saber slashed down. How could he not give up his experience? Explode for me. Chapter 4. 8_8419/2356524. No one could stop Long Fei. No one could stop Long Fei. Nobody. This time, he would definitely slash down. For the sake of experience, for the sake of true breath, for the sake of the Dragon Salyer, and also for the sake of the Long family. Unstoppable. The power of Mountain Hit Fist, the power of the peerless attribute, the power of the great desolate mountain demon king, and the godly tiger blood lineage all burst out from his arms as he slashed down. The blood-red saber chi shot straight into the sky, tearing apart the thick layer of clouds and roared, "No one can stop me. Kill! Kacha!" A flash of lightning slashed down. He directly slashed between Nangong Hua's eyebrows, and his body was instantly split into two halves. The blade energy shook the entire violet gold temple and split it into two before collapsing with a loud bang. Standing in the deep pit, stepping on Nangong Hua's corpse, he roared, "Can't kill? Is he dead now?" At this moment, Long Fei moved. "Touch your striking attribute, Dragon Salyer. Dragon Salyer, you must reveal the other half of the Dragon Salyer for me." Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Nangong Hua for gaining EXP, True Breath points, energy values, and points 10. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sky Tyrant armor. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Sky Tyrant sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Overlord Godwing. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sky Tyrant boots. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Emperor's Vein Jade seal. A series of notifications sounded. As Long Fei listened, his expression became more and more excited. The set has dropped a set. Haha, a set dropped. Striking attribute is striking attribute. It's too much. Long Fei looked at the items that dropped one by one. He was way too excited. Every time he used Berserk energy, it felt so good. However, Long Fei also clearly understood in his heart that striking attribute wasn't something that could be casually used to drop good items. For example, for the first time, the Toad had only dropped a single divine ranked martial technique. Because the Toad's level was too low, so it had to use its striking attribute on the boss in order to drop even more powerful items. And then, Long Fei immediately checked the properties of the equipment. Item: Sky Tyrant Armor Grade. Divine Level Description: able to resist attacks below the War Emperor realm. Item: Sky Tyrant Sword Grade. Divine Level Description: attached with a set of the Sky Tyrant Sword technique, the ability to gather the power of the sky in an instant and cause 10 times the critical amount of damage. Item: Overlord Godwing Grade. Divine Level Description: increases flight speed. Item: Sky Tyrant Boots Grade. Divine Level Description: able to increase movement speed by twofold, with a wind attribute bonus of 10%. They're all divine level. Long Fei was so excited that he was a little confused. It was already impressive to have dropped a piece of divine level equipment, but to have dropped 4 pieces, and it was even a set. Ding! Wear it. Yes, sir. Without any hesitation, Long Fei moved the idea and immediately equipped all of these items. Ding! Do you want to hide your appearance? Long Fei thought for a moment, then said, yes. In order not to cause chaos or to hide his appearance, a set of divine level equipment was too eye-catching. Moreover, Long Fei was not the only one here. There was also the Blood Refinement sect and the Xiang Tian sect. Keep a low profile. Keeping a low profile was the way to go. Furthermore, he could control it as he wished. As long as the idea moved, he could release the external appearances of these tyrant-equivalent equipment. The complete set of black armor, wings, sword, and battle boots were all engraved with simple runes. This was the perfect combination of refining and the power of runes. The power of Tyrant's equipment also came from these runes. He had revealed a set of godly equipment. It was indeed enjoyable, but the only thing that made Long Fei unhappy was that he did not reveal the other half of the Dragon Salyer. Seems like I have to complete the Dragon Salyer mission personally. Long Fei's heart trembled. As Long Fei excitedly observed the equipment, everyone in the courtyard of Violet Gold Temple looked at Long Fei in a daze. Is he still human? No, he is a god. Is he really human? Damn, I already said he is a god. He's simply not a human. Your father said that he is a god, but your mother is an idiot. I said he's a god, a god, a god. If you dare to say another word, I'll kill you. Unparalleled power, killing Nagong Ao in a second, and then killing Nangong Hua in a second. Long Fei unleashed an incomparable power every single time, looking extremely intrepid. Every time he broke his limits. Nangong Hua's cultivation was too strong. But so what? He still died in the hands of Long Fei. Every time Long Fei released his cultivation technique, it would always be incomparably powerful, and simply did not give Nangong Hua any chance to retaliate, as there was absolutely no leeway for him to do so. Xiao Chongfeng frowned. He was extremely shocked. Too powerful, too powerful. His talent is probably comparable to Hong Tianjuan's, but I have never seen such a shocking power. The three sisters of the Heaven Sect. Xiao Tianhun laughed until he cried, "Bastard, you're so strong. I can't even control you." Yi Zian also said, "He's too handsome. He's the most handsome person I've ever seen. How can he be this handsome? He can't take it anymore. He can't take it anymore. I have to fall for him more and more uncontrollably." Lu Luoshi looked at Long Fei quietly. Her shock was stronger than anyone else. In just a few short months, from killing the large power King Kong ape to now, you've grown too fast. I am completely unable to keep up. I am completely unable to keep up. Jojo was very simple. He simply jumped up from the ground and made a hand motion. "Yay, young master is awesome." Dongfang Jian had a dead look on his face. He had always thought that he was stronger than Long Fei. He had always felt that he was superior to him and had always looked down upon Long Fei. Every time he met Long Fei, he was always the loser. To kill Nangong Hua, he simply could not do it. This feeling was very uncomfortable, as if he had been fiercely slapped. The most uncomfortable part of all belonged to Nangong Yen. Her whole body trembled and her heart kept shouting, why? Deep in his heart, he was filled with hatred. They were screaming nonstop, but why was that so? 36. Oh, search. Half floating / / equals. How did Long Fei become so strong? Why did I always lose to him? Why did the women beside him keep on coming? Why did he disdain to obtain anything that he could only fight for by risking his life? Why was this happening? Chapter 5. 8_8419/2356525. Amongst these people, Nangong Yin was the most arrogant, and the one who would most hate to see Long Fei become stronger. Amongst these people, Nangong Yin was the most arrogant, and the one who would most hate to see Long Fei become stronger. She had always thought that her choice was the right one. Long Fei possessed the dragon god's blood lineage, and had asked her father to propose a marriage arrangement, allowing Nangong Hua to propose a marriage. Because at that time, she knew that she would definitely become the strongest woman in the Fireglass City, because of the dragon god blood lineage. After Long Fei was crippled, her face immediately changed like flipping a book as she drew a clear line between them. At the same time, she was also looking for a better replacement. Dongfang Jin appeared. Once again, she made a choice. The Sky Sect was above the Fireglass Dynasty. As long as she followed Dongfang Jian, she could look down on Long Fei. Dongfang Jian had also allowed her to enjoy limitless glory. But now, it turned out that she had once again made the wrong choice. The divine Zhuge family was gone, her grandfather was dead, and her father was probably dead as well. Right now, she was the only one left, Even if Dongfang Jian could not protect himself in this situation, it would be hard to bring her away. All of a sudden, Nangong Yin had already walked to the edge of the cliff. She could have been high and mighty, but now, at this time, the leader of the Blood Refinement sect let out a cold laugh and said, "Looks like this place is over. The Nangong Imperial clan no longer has any value. In that case, we should leave as well." Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he looked at the man. That person also noticed Long Fei's ice-cold gaze and could not help but sneer. "What? I want to leave. Do you still want to stay?" "Long Fei, you are very strong, but if you want to go against the Blood Refinement sect, you don't have the qualifications." Finished. The man's eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Disciples of the Blood Refinement sect, listen up. Go back. Wait a minute." Suddenly, Nangong Yin walked up, directly kneeling on the ground, and said, "Please bring me along. I am willing to do anything." The man who was chasing after the three Sky Sect sisters in the Fire Glass Mountain range laughed lewdly and said, "Are you willing to do anything?" Nangong Yin immediately took off his outer garment, revealing an apron that covered his snow-white skin. With boundless temptation, he said, "I'm willing to do anything." While they were talking, there were no ripples in her eyes. It was as if she was dead. Dongfang Jian took a step forward and said, "Sister Yin, why are you doing this? I will bring you to the sect." Nangong Yin said coldly, "Heaven's sect? Can you help me kill Long Fei?" "You can't. You're just a piece of trash." Nangong Yin, am definitely not going to be with a piece of trash for the rest of my life." That Blood Refinement sect disciple laughed out loud and said, "He can't. As long as our Blood Refinement sect is able to join our Blood Refinement sect, it would take you less than 3 years to kill Long Fei. I heard that your marriage contract has 3 years more to go. It just so happens that you have 3 years to get married and kill Long Fei. Just thinking about it makes you excited. Come." He extended his hand out to Nangong Yin. "Long Fei, just you wait. Sooner or later, I'll come back, and I'll return everything that happened today to you 10,000 times over. Nangong Yin, swear to the heavens." Finished. She took out a dagger and slashed at her beautiful face. His face was ruined. A long scar appeared, and fresh blood dripped down. The Blood Refinement sect disciple was taken aback, but he didn't let go. He let out a strange laugh and said, "You're looking more and more like a disciple of our Blood Refinement sect." Ha! Immediately, the group of people moved as fast as lightning. In the night sky, "Long Fei, just you wait." A mournful, ghost-like laughter rang out in the air. Long Fei walked out of the pit, shaking his head and smiling bitterly. What's the point of this? Actually, Long Fei didn't plan to kill her. But from the looks of it, if they met each other in the future, it would definitely be a fight to the death. Xiao Changfeng hugged his hands and said, "Long Fei, I am extremely grateful for today's matter. In the future, when the day comes, I will definitely repay you." "In return for what?" "Repay him." "Xiao Changfeng, is your brain full of shit? If it wasn't for him, I would have been reduced to this state. If it wasn't for him, would Yin Shi Fei have left me? Long Fei, if you dare take a step into the Heaven sect, I will break your legs." Dongfang Jian said as he gnashed his teeth. Lu Luoshi immediately asked, "Dongfang Jian, what did you say?" Xiao Tian also scolded, "Do you think that the Heaven sect is your home?" Yi Zian imitated Long Fei's words and said, "I'm giving you face, right?" Long Fei's mouth curved up and said coldly, "Why wait until the time of the previous Sky sect? Now come and break my legs." "Come on." Dongfang Jian frowned and did not make a sound. Long Fei suddenly roared and said angrily, "Come the F***CK. Are you scared now?" While they were talking, the dense chi on Long Fei's body rushed forward. The dragon Salyer released a violent blade cry. The blood-red blade aura on the blade's body continued to flicker. Killing intent. An incredibly thick killing intent. Dongfang Jian clenched his fists tightly, but he did not dare say a single word. Xiao Changfeng knelt on the ground and said, "Long Fei, please forgive young Master Dongfang. This old servant will kowtow for you." Dongfang Xiong was his benefactor. For Dongfang Jian, no matter how much humiliation he received, he would definitely not frown, just like how he was going to defend Dongfang Jian from the attacks of the illusionary swords. He did not frown, because he owed the Dongfang family. Lu Luoxi also said slightly, Long Fei, forget it. She was worried that Long Fei would be rash. If Dongfang Jian died, Dongfang Xiong would definitely be enraged, and at that time, even the entire Fireglass dynasty would be annihilated. Compared to the Heaven sect, the Fireglass dynasty was still too weak. Yi Zian also said, yes, forget it, you still have to come back to the Heaven sect. She was worried that Dongfang Xiong would make things difficult for him if he became a disciple of the Heaven sect. They all knew in their hearts that Long Fei would come to the Heaven sect. Offending the vice sect master was definitely not a wise choice. Although Long Fei was impulsive, he was not stupid. He stared coldly at Dongfang Jian and said, Dongfang Jian, if you have the ability, then fight with me just now. Don't say anything useless. Dongfang Jian said fiercely, Long Fei, I'm waiting for you at the Heaven sect. If you have the guts, come. After he finished speaking, Dongfang Jian flung his sleeves and walked out in large strides. Xiao Changfeng saluted Long Fei and hurriedly followed him. Kill Dongfang Jian? It wasn't hard. However, and after he was killed, right now, Fireglass Dynasty was in a state of turmoil. If they were to offend the Chao Tian sect, Fireglass Dynasty would definitely fall into the flames of war once again. The Long family would also be unable to withstand it. Killing Dongfang Jian at this time was not a wise decision, and Long Fei was very clear on this point. The Long family couldn't make too many enemies at the moment. The Blood Refinement sect must have formed an enmity with them. If they were to fall out with the Chao Tian sect, it would be very disadvantageous to the Long family. Long Fei's heart sank, his fists clenched tightly. Still not strong enough. I'm still too weak. I'm still not strong enough. Chapter 6, 8_8419/2356526. In a world where the strong were respected, only the strong were respected. In a world where the strong were respected, only the strong were respected. Only the strong could look down on the world. Only the strong are the men at the top of the food chain. The law of the jungle was an unchangeable law of survival in any world. Long Fei was very clear of this point. After Xiao Changfeng and the others left, Long Fei ordered Commander Yuan, Grandpa, Big Uncle, and the others should be attacking the palace. Yuan Bin immediately shouted, As you command. If the 500 Imperial Guards killed their way out of the palace, then even if it was just 500 Imperial Guards, once the palace gates were opened, it would have a decisive effect. Following that, Long Fei looked at Lu Luoxi and said, You guys also leave. Fatty Wang, protect them well. You have performed well today. Wang Jing grinned excitedly. Don't worry, even if I, Fatty Wang, were to risk my life, I will still ensure their safety. He was the biggest winner tonight. The Wang family was just a small government official with no influence. Before he came, his father had specifically instructed him not to stand in teams. Regardless of whether it was the Nangong Imperial clan or the Long clan, they would not stand in teams, because this was the only way to survive. Any one of them would be able to survive if they defeated him. But facing Nangong Yan's bullying, he, Fatty Wang, was very unhappy and directly stood on Long Fei's side. Who would have thought that he wouldn't have done anything? Not only had he obtained the token to become a qualified disciple of the Heaven sect, he had even become the general of the imperial court. In his heart, he thought, there must be smoke coming from the ancestral tombs. I must pay my respects when I go back. Zhou asked with concern, Young master, what about you? Lu Luoxi also asked, Yes, where are you going? Now, as long as the Long family army attacks, everything will be settled. Where are you going? Long Fei grinned and said, I still have some things to do. Wait for me at the Long family residence. I will be back soon. I want to stay. It's too exciting to follow you. Xiao Tian immediately laughed and said, she felt that she couldn't leave Long Fei's side anymore, Being together with Long Fei was always so exciting. Yi Zian joked, "Little junior sister apprentice, you might as well be glued to Long Fei's body." Xiao Tian said eagerly, all right, your head." Lu Luoxi reprimanded him and said, "Let's go, he is so strong. He alone is fine. There's no need to worry." She vaguely felt that there was something else in Long Fei's mind. Moreover, it was a dangerous thing to do, or he wouldn't have driven them away. It was related to Nangong Wudi. His heart was full of questions, too, as he thought to himself, why hasn't his son and grandson appeared yet? A shadow appeared in the sky. Could it be that he escaped? Lu Luoxi pulled Xiao Tian and urged him, let's go, hurry, he'll be back soon." While they were talking, she turned and looked at Xiang Longfei, her eyes filled with worry. Long Fei didn't want them to be in danger. Long Fei looked at Lu Luoxi, feeling that she understood him the best, and smiled faintly. "Let's go, I will be fine." Fatty Wong walked to the main entrance, made a gesture to invite them in, and said, "Sisters, please." Xiao Tian laughed and said, "What did you call us?" "Eldest sister-in-law," Fatty Wong said. He. Xiao Tian laughed. "Let's hear it again." Fatty Wong immediately replied, "Sister-in-law." "Ha!" Xiao Tian's smile was like a flower, and it faintly rose to be sweetened in their hearts. However, all of them were more reserved than Xiao Tian, and all of them suppressed the joy in their hearts. Only Long Fei and Xiao Bai was left in the courtyard. Long Fei grinned and said, "It's time to get back to business." Xiao Bai said, "Master, are you looking for the other half of the dragon salyer?" Let's go to the Grand Temple and take down the Nangong clan's ancestral tombs." Long Fei was excited. His most important goal tonight was the other half of the dragon salyer. It had not burst out from Nangong Ho's body, so he could only go to the Tai Temple. However, Long Fei's heart was also slightly tightened. The image of Nangong Wudi that was filled with dense energy, exactly how strong was it? He didn't know. He was not confident at all, because Nangong Wudi was too strong. It was actually able to condense a shadow in midair using the true breath. This was definitely not something that a war master could achieve. The reason he sent Lu Luoxi and the others away was also because of this. He had to go to the Grand Temple. He had to find the dragon salyer, because this was the Long family's belief and was something that the Long family's master had left behind. As a descendant of the Long family, if they didn't dare to take back what the master had left behind, then what was the point of living in this world? As a man, there were some things that he had to do. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The entrance of the imperial palace was breached by Yuan Bin, who cooperated with him on the outside. Meng Yu and Long Shan immediately rushed in, with Long Lei, Long Feng, and Long Yun following closely behind. Immediately after, the Long family's troops rushed in like ferocious tigers. The imperial guards could not resist at all. Soon, he lost his ability to resist. Long Zhanhai bellowed, "Those who surrender, save yourself." Many of the imperial guards had put down their weapons and decided to surrender. It was no longer the power of the Nangong imperial clan. Long Sanfeng descended from the sky and asked, "Where's Xiao Fei?" Fatty Wong replied, "Young Marquis Long wants us to leave first. He's staying in a violet gold temple alone. We don't know what he's doing. I just saw young Master Long Fei going towards the direction of the Supreme Temple." Long Sanfeng frowned and bellowed, "Damn it!" Immediately, Long Sanfeng roared fiercely, all the energy in his body exploding out as he rushed towards the direction of the great temple. "Nangong Wudi, if you dare to even touch a single hair of my grandson, this father will forever be irreconcilable with you." Long Zhanhai shouted, "Long Yun, have you brought the Dragon-Lock Tactical Method Dragon Army that you have been secretly training with?" Long Yun frowned and replied, "Reporting to Patriarch, Yunlong army was heavily injured in the Great Desolate Mountain last time. Right now, there's only a small portion of Yunlong army left." "This is bad." Long Zhanhai's heart sank. "Don't worry about it. Meng Yu, bring your men to clear out the remnants of the resistance. Not a single person from the Nangong family should let them escape. The remaining people all follow me." Long Fei, Don't do anything stupid. Don't be rash. Long Zhanhai was very worried in his heart. It was not because he was worried about Nangong Wudi, but rather inescapable snare tactical method. This was the strongest trump card of the Nangong Imperial clan. This formation's destructive power was extremely strong, even more so than the Dragon Lock tactical method. Once inside the formation, one could forget about coming out alive. Floating life. Table of contents, no windows. A ++ at the entrance to the temple. Long Fei stepped into the plaza, and around him was a huge plaza. In the middle of the plaza was a huge building, and at the entrance of the building stood an old man. The old man was holding the other half of the dragon's salure. It's out. Chapter 78_8419/2356527. Nangong Wudi. Nangong Wudi, the master of the Nangong Imperial clan, the strongest warrior in the Fire-Glass City. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The dragon salure in Long Fei's hand trembled non-stop, releasing sets of ear-piercing blade sounds, as though it could fly out of his hand at any time. The dragon's salure was roaring. Long Fei could feel that the roars inside its body were filled with rage. Long Fei. Nangong Wudi shouted in anger, his voice exploding in the night sky, causing the entire plaza to reverberate. Even Long Fei, who was a kilometer away from him, could feel the powerful aura. Unrivaled power, Nangong Wudi said in a gloomy voice. I never thought that the one who would overthrow my Nangong family would be a trash like you. I really shouldn't have let you live. Long Fei slowly walked into the temple and walked forward step by step. If you're talking about the past, then my Long family's ancestor should not have been able to rule over your Nangong family. Without my Long family, where would your Nangong family come from? It is your Nangong family that does not know how to cherish it. Those who touch my Long family die. Your Nangong family has tolerated your Nangong family for so long, and the Long family has endured it repeatedly. However, your Nangong family is not repenting and has increased in strength. Since that's the case, we'll take back the world that belongs to our Long family. Long Fei walked very slowly, taking each step very carefully. His aura surged. However, he couldn't feel any danger at all. Even Xiao Bai, who was following beside him, could not detect it. There was only Nangong Wudi in the entire plaza and no one else. Moreover, Long Fei had to step forward because Nangong Wudi's body was glowing with a golden light. He had to step forward and kill this golden boss. Nangong Wudi laughed wildly and said, Your Long family's under heaven? Ha ha! How ridiculous. What kind of thing is your Long family? Do you think killing the other 3 pillars and killing the Nangong Imperial clan's Fireglass dynasty is the world of your Long family? Stop dreaming. And you're going to die soon. Wah-ha! Nangong Wudi laughed sinisterly, his eyes filled with killing intent in front of the true Supreme Temple. Long Fei laughed. Your grandson said that I will die. I am alive. He is dead. Your son also said that I will die. I am still alive. He is dead. Now it is your turn. Umph! Nangong Wudi's gaze tensed up. You are about to die, yet you still dare to be so arrogant. Long Fei grinned and laughed. Is this what you call arrogance? I'm even more arrogant than you have never seen before. While speaking, Long Fei walked forward another few steps. He stared at Nangong Wudi, who was covered in gold, and said, A boss covered in gold. You have to kill him, huh? I must kill him. Seeing the boss made him drool, as if he was seeing a naked woman. He had to do it to her. Suddenly, a shout came from behind Long Fei. Xiao Fei, don't ever enter the temple. Before anyone could make a sound, it fell. Long Fei turned around to look at the entrance that was a few hundred meters away. Grandfather, why have you come? Ha-ha! Lunatic Long, you came late. Your darling grandson is going to die right now. Nangong Wudi laughed coldly, his brows shook, and his voice became hoarse as he shouted, Inescapable snare, tactical method, activate. As soon as he finished, A huge true breath surged from the center of Nangong Wudi's palm as he slammed it onto the ground. The ground cracked. The countless true breaths in the crevices were moving recklessly, constantly blinking their cultivation techniques, causing the entire temple to tremble as endless killing intent poured out from within. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The floor of the temple split open, and a warrior in black armor walked out. They're not real people, they're ghost. They were all ghost warrior. Every one of them was a spirit body, but each one of them emitted a cruel aura, just like a real person. Thousands of spirits were gathered in the square. With a magic weapon in his hand, his gaze locked onto Long Fei. Lunatic Long's heart sank. Anger soared to the skies. Nangong Wudi, you dare! His heart was filled with incomparable shock. He had thought that the Imperial Net was the Nangong Imperial clan's strongest trump card, but he was also clear that the inescapable snare tactical method was extremely difficult to cultivate, even if it wasn't powerful enough. However, Dragon Madman never thought that the Nangong Imperial clan would actually kill all those who had cultivated the inescapable snare tactical method arts back then, refine their souls, and turn them into ghost magic weapon. That way, they would be able to completely preserve the power of the inescapable snare tactical method. Too vicious. The lives of thousands of people were refined just like that. Moreover, for thousands of years, he had been enslaved by the Nangong Imperial clan. He could only guard the square of the Supreme Temple and could never be reincarnated. He had to say it. The methods of the Nangong Imperial clan were too sinister. Ha ha! Lunatic Long, you also have times to be afraid? Nangong Wudi laughed coldly and said, Do you know who this was used against back then? They're the same people that were used to deal with you, Long family's Dragon Slayer. Back then, the Dragon Slayer Holy General killed all the evil demons, and their bodies were completely exhausted. Afterwards, they were sealed in the valley by our Nangong Imperial clan with our inescapable snare tactical method. But I never thought that the Dragon Slayer god relied on the supreme artifact S to kill more than 1,000 of the Nangong family's elites, and the inescapable snare tactical method also lost its power at that time. No one would have thought that our Nangong family was a branch of the blood refinement sect at that time, using the blood refinement art to extract all of these dead souls, and then killing the other 1,800 elite inescapable snare tactical method cultivators, controlling their souls forever, allowing them to protect our Nangong family forever. The more Nangong Wudi said, the more excited he became, as if he had done something great. The inescapable snare-tight tactical method has been preserved forever by our Nangong Imperial clan. Their souls are forever under our control. The half of the Dragon Slayer in Nangong Wudi's hand trembled and roared furiously. Activate the formation, kill Long Fei, and remove his soul for me. I want his soul to forever kneel in front of the Nangong Imperial clan's great temple, and I want your Long family to be eternally doomed. Ha! As soon as he finished speaking, the Ghost Warrior S started to revolve madly, as if they were huge machines. Long Sanfeng became anxious and rushed forward without a care for anything else, Xiao Fei. However, the moment he stepped into the vicinity of the temple, he was sent flying by a powerful aura. He then stuck on the wall of the temple and spat out a mouthful of blood. Strongest upgrade system. Nangong Wudi laughed loudly. Lunatic Long, don't waste your energy. The Dragon Slayer god was an expert of the War Emperor realm back then, and even he was not able to charge out. He will slowly die in front of you. Watching his own grandson slowly die, this must be a great feeling. Long Fei stood in place. I understand that there's a boss here, but this formation can even be a boss? Chapter 8. 8_8419/2356528. There were two types of bosses. The humanoid boss had the shape of a demon beast. There were two types of bosses. The humanoid boss had the shape of a demon beast. But there's a boss in a formation? The formation that Long Fei was in was shining with a golden light, just like the golden light that was being released by Nangong Woody, the boss's aura. However, these ghost warriors did not have any gold light on them, so Long Fei determined that this was the formation. Inescapable snare, tight, tactical method. It was the end of the tree. In that instant, Long Fei shouted loudly, "Grandfather, don't come over." This array was very strong. In the middle of the array, Long Fei could feel the destructive force from the nine heavens and earth. Indistinctly, this array was like a spider web, with power connecting every part of the body. I don't believe that I can't break this inescapable snare-tight tactical method of yours. Long Fei coldly snorted, "I've broken through even the Long family's dragon-locked tactical method. Compared to the dragon-locked tactical method, your array formation only has a little more people, and the power link is only a little more powerful." Lunatic Long shivered and stood there in shock. He asked, "Xiao Fei, did you break the Long family's dragon-locked tactical method?" Nangong Woody's face was also filled with shock. In terms of array level, the dragon-locked tactical method was above the inescapable snare-tight tactical method, but it had actually been broken by Long Fei. The creation of the Long family's ancestor had been unbreakable for tens of thousands of years. Even the Long family didn't know how to break it. They only knew how to refine a formation. He, a youth not even 20 years of age, was actually able to break the dragon-locked tactical method. Nangong Woody laughed coldly and said, "Long Fei, you can brag as much as you want. The inescapable snare tactical method and the dragon-locked tactical method are completely different. Just tremble inside this inescapable snare-tight tactical method." He didn't believe Long Fei at all. Long Fei did not argue. Breaking the array was the best proof. Suddenly, Long Fei's voice sunk as he shouted, "Xiao Bai." "Understood." Roar. Xiao Bai's gaze tensed up, and the aura on his body suddenly exploded. A huge illusion of a wolf god appeared beside it, and Xiao Bai roared out, "Kill." Wolf god immediately rushed forward. When he blocked the attack from the ghost warrior, the power of the wolf god released out, violently shaking the area. A large part of the ghost warriors were blasted away. However, in the next second, these ghost warriors gathered back together. They were completely unable to cause any damage to their attacks. Ha ha ha. So what if it's a divine beast? Ghosts or spirits, they can't be killed at all, huh? Nangong Woody laughed complacently. Looking at Xiao Bailang, he was secretly shocked in his heart. This kid actually even has a divine beast. A divine beast, White Wolf. There was also a colossal dragon. Long Fei moved and shouted, "Ice fire." "Understood." Boom! Long Fei took a step forward, flapped his wings, and directly charged into the sky, charging out from the hole in the ground. Nangong Woody laughed coldly. "You want to escape through the air? It's no use, haha." At this moment, boom, 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 those ghost warriors suddenly changed, immediately turning into a giant cage as if they were an Arhut. Powerful array power crushed the ice and fire inside. Rumble. Anger spewed out, burning the ghosts. It was completely useless. These ghosts weren't harmed at all. They were invincible. They were immune to any kind of attack, and their attacks were exceptionally valiant. If it wasn't for the fact that he dodged the fire and ice, he would have been seriously injured. With every attack, the 3,000 over ghost soldiers gathered their strength and directly slashed down. His strength was incomparably powerful. The ice and fire fell back to the ground. Long Fei looked at the sky and thought, even flying is not okay. Ice and fire. How much distance is there between us? The ice-fire dragon's eyes narrowed. After calculating for a moment, it said, 500 meters. All right. Xiao Bai, Bing Hua, return to my war pet space. Long Fei's voice sunk. Xiao Bai and Bing Hua didn't understand. Master, what do you want to do? You alone are no match for this formation. Master, please let us stay. Long Fei said, your attacks are useless against these spirit bodies. They're immune to our attacks, but as long as we kill Nangong Woody, this formation will break by itself. There must be some kind of power controlling these ghost warrior on Nangong Woody. Just kill him and it will be over. However, The distance was too far. The combined attack skill, Ice and Fire Nine Heavens, could not be killed. He needed to push forward, rush to Nangong Wudi's side. Only then would he be able to combine his attacks. Even if it could not kill Nangong Wudi, it could heavily injure him. If he was injured, the array formations would definitely be affected. Xiaobai asked, "Then why don't we follow you? We can at least block the attack for you." "Yes, Brother Xiaobai is right. Master, let us help you open up a path. If we can't kill them, we have thick skin, we can still resist." The attacks of these ghost warrior were extremely strong. Their physical body defense were much stronger than Long Fei's, so they could act like titans. However, in Long Fei's heart, Xiaobai and Binghua were his brothers. Even if he were to go and defend himself, he wouldn't let the two of them take all the damage for him. Then again, Long Fei was not afraid of these ghost warriors at all. Long Fei slightly smiled and said, "You don't have to worry. If I can't take it, it won't be too late for you all to come out. These ghost warriors are completely useless to me." While they were talking, Long Fei's heart trembled. The idea moved. Sky Tyrant armor out. Buzz! The divine armor of the Sky Tyrant Profound Realm appeared on Long Fei's body. It was pitch black with all kinds of ancient runes carved on it. It flickered with black light, emitted black flames, and looked extremely domineering. Overlord God Wing out. Boom, boom. Two giant black wings appeared, just like those props in the game. They were incomparably gorgeous, pitch black, like the scales of a black dragon. Sky Tyrant boots. Come out. Boom, boom. Two black battle boots appeared under Long Fei's feet. Sky Tyrant's sword attack. Long Fei summoned out the Sky Tyrant sword. A 2-meter-long gigantic sword. Its entire body was black, and its inscriptions covered the entire body of the sword. As the sword came out, the sword energy immediately swept out. It was also at this moment. Ding! Congratulations to the player Long Fei for coming into contact with Tyrant Sky set effect. You have gained 100% defense and 100% attack. A set of Holy Artifact. Nangong Wudi was immediately dumbfounded. Was this person even human? Even after all these years, the Nangong family did not have a single decent Holy Artifact. He got the set straight away. The Dragon Salyer was a Holy Artifact. 2 divine beasts. Countless divine rank cultivation techniques. Why was there such a huge disparity between the two of them? The Nangong family had done this for so many years, yet they only managed to cause half of their Dragon Salyer to die in front of the Holy Artifact. But this Long Fei fella, it was simply too deadly. Chapter 9. 8_8419/2356530. Competing with a person would sometimes truly compare to a dead person. Competing with a person would sometimes truly compare to a dead person. When you think you have a good holy artifact, other people's holy artifact have piled up like a mountain. From the moment the Dragon Salyer appeared in the Long family's residence, the Nangong Imperial clan wanted to obtain it. When they were happy that the Long family had lost their supreme artifact, who would have thought that Long Fei already had a divine level set? Nangong Wudi was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This was nothing. Just as the Sky Tyrant armor was all revealed, Long Fei's eyebrows twitched and he shouted, "Thunder Clock, get out." Boom! The Thunder Clock that exploded from Nangong Lai's body also appeared on Long Fei's body. The shadow of the Thunder Clock covered Long Fei, and the gigantic bell continuously released dense lightning defenses. It was so sharp that it was a complete mess. He carried the Dragon Salyer on his shoulder and held the Sky Tyrant sword in his hand. He wore the Sky Tyrant set and had Thunder Clock revolving around his head. Each and every one of them were holy artifact. Each one was incomparably sharp. The sight was dazzling. He even had thoughts of dying. Not many martial artists would be able to get an Earth-grade spirit artifact in their lifetime, but Long Fei's entire body was filled with holy artifact. Did he still want to live? Can't you play? Nangong Wudi was so angry that his entire body was trembling. If not for his high cultivation, he would have vomited blood. Looking at the half of the Dragon Salyer in his hand, Nangong Wudi felt as if he had been humiliated. Long Zhanhai immediately ordered, "Without my order, no one is allowed to even take half a step into this temple. Long Yun, you stand guard here. Whoever dares to approach this temple will be killed without question." Long Yun immediately replied, "Yes." And then Long Zhanhai quickly ran up, because he felt a strong aura, and when he looked at the entrance of the temple, he was stupefied. He mumbled, "Father, is that Xiao Fei?" Long Sanfeng was so shocked that he nearly jumped up to cheer and said excitedly, "It's Xiao Fei, it's Xiao Fei, ha ha. Good boy, you have truly shocked me." The number of holy artifact he had on him right now was not even as many as he had in the entire Fireglass dynasty. He was definitely a rich person. "Don't worry about it now, huh?" Long Sanfeng grew excited, looking at Long Fei, who was inside the array, with incomparable pride. He was proud of Long Fei. Long Fei took a step forward and laughed. "Aren't your inescapable snare tactical method powerful? Come, come, come. Let's see if we can break through your father's defense." "Arrogant, incomparable arrogance," Long Fei said, as if he was pulling a 250-year-old. With a move of the sword, he pointed at Nangong Wudi's nose and cursed, "Child Nangong, come, come, come. Let your ghost warrior kill me. Damn you, come on. Too arrogant." Facing the #1 ranker of the Fireglass City, facing the inescapable snare-tight tactical method, Long Fei was unbridled. Nangong Wudi was so angry that smoke was coming out from his head, and he shouted angrily, "Kill him! Kill him! Kill him for me!" Immediately, with a change in inescapable snare-tight tactical method, all of them rushed towards Xiang Longfei. Long Fei frowned and thought to himself, "The distance is too far. I can't sense the true breath on Nangong Wudi's body. I need to take a few more steps forward." "Kill! Kill!" Countless ghost warriors rushed towards Xiang Longfei. However, Long Fei ignored them and walked forward in large strides. The attacks of the ghost warriors were like ice and fire, completely useless against them. Immunity. Our Thunderclock could not defend against it, and the Sky Tyrant armor could easily defend itself. This was the power of a divine-level spiritual treasure. His defense was extremely high. These ghost warriors were completely useless. Long Fei laughed arrogantly. "Nangong punk, what kind of bullsh asterisk T inescapable snare-tight tactical method? Is it only this kind of power? It's not as powerful as my scratching. Even if I beg you, can you make them use a little more strength? At least give me an itch." "Ha-ha!" Long Fei walked forward step by step, wanting to enrage Nangong Wudi. He wanted to feel the flow of the true breath on Nangong Wudi's body. He wanted to know whether or not Nangong Wudi was controlling these ghost warriors again, and whether or not he was the eye of the formation. And then again, he wanted to shrink his distance to a point where it locked onto him. The distance at which the ice and fire nine heavens was released. Nangong Wudi was so angry that his entire body was trembling. Looking at Long Fei's wild laughter, he wanted to personally go and tear him apart. Too weak. A bit stronger. Child Nangong, is this the trump card of your Nangong Imperial clan? I think it's just a bunch of trash." Long Fei walked forward step by step. Although no ghost warrior had broken through his defense, this did not mean that he could quickly rush to Nangong Wudi's side as if he were walking down a main road. Furthermore, when those attacks landed on his body, although he didn't receive any damage, he could feel them with his own body. "Master, another 100 meters." Ice and fire continued to calculate the distance between them. Long Fei secretly thought, 100 meters, right? He took a big step forward. There's still 99 meters left. "Nangong Wudi, just wait for me to send you to the west." Over 3,000 ghost warriors continued to attack. The power of the formation continued to rise, but it was completely useless. It did not harm Long Fei at all. Long Sanfeng and Long Zhanhai were both dumbfounded. So breaking the array can actually do something like this? Good boy. Ha-ha. The two of them laughed with incomparable joy. Lunatic Long also laughed loudly. old thief Nangong, isn't the inescapable snare tactical method awesome? Why did it become like this now? How could this be called breaking through a formation? This was called ignoring this formation. Nangong Wudi angrily clenched his teeth. His divine level set was unable to break through the defense of the heavens, but instead of rushing towards Xiang Longfei with anger, he said with a cold laugh, Longfei, even if your defense is peerless, you are still unable to break through this formation. You want to get close to me, want to fight with that dragon, and shoot out beams of light to kill me? Ha ha ha! Nangong Wudi laughed wildly. Long Fei frowned. Has he been seen through? At this moment, Long Fei took a step forward, his heart stirred, and he shouted, Ice and fire, prepare to attack. The ice-fire dragon's heart tightened as it said, Master, there is still half a meter left. One more step and you'll be finished. Long Fei lifted his leg again. Also at this moment, the idea moved, sensing the true breath's fluctuations on Nangong Wudi's body. And in the instant that Long Fei lifted his leg, Nangong Wudi roared fiercely, Charge out for him. As soon as he finished, the ghost warrior-s suddenly gathered in a row as a strong wave of energy shot out horizontally and directly slashed at Long Fei's chest, without causing him the slightest bit of harm. However, yet Long Fei actually put it back. 500 meters away, Long Fei once again returned to the starting point. What should he do? He wasn't a match at all. This week still had 3 days left. Haiyang would still work hard to ensure that every day was updated with every 10 chapters. Haiyang was desperately writing her code word. Brothers, if you have a monthly ticket, then I'll be extremely grateful to you. 8_8419/2356531. It was seen through. It was seen through. The distance was calculated. Long Fei didn't know. How could he be seen through when he had only released one Fire and Ice in Fireglass City? Not seeing through, but seeing through Nangong Wudi's cultivation. He could feel the change in the dangerous aura, and the moment Long Fei took a step forward, he felt it. This was a powerful expert. He could sense any change, even the slightest change in his aura. Nangong Wudi laughed proudly. How is it? Little bastard, it's better if you return to your original location. The inescapable snare-tight tactical method indeed can't do anything to you, but you can't break the array, much less get close to me. Any holy artifact will need the support of the true breath. I do not believe that the true breath in your body can allow you to live for 3 days or 3 nights. You're merely a trash at the early stage of the war chief. Even consuming you consumes all of my energy. Ha ha ha. Indeed, just as Nangong Wudi had said, he could not break this array. Not to mention 3 days and 3 nights. He couldn't even hold on for a single day. I don't believe it. Long Fei rushed out once again, thinking, Ice and fire recalculate the distance. Bing was said, Yes, master. Long Fei quickly rushed out, his teleportation coupled with the movement speed of the Sky Tyrant boots. He increased his speed to its limit, and he moved 100 meters in a single step. However, the stronger he was, the more powerful the inescapable snare tactical method art became. Master, 5 more meters. Not waiting for him to finish, Nangong Wudi sneered, Go back. Boom! The formation changed, and a powerful force once again pushed him back to his original spot. Another failure. F***CK. Again, Long Fei rushed over like crazy again. Nangong Wudi laughed complacently. Haha, no matter how many times you try, it's useless. Little bastard, even your ancestors, the Draconic Slaughter, were unable to break the formation, so it's even more impossible for you, huh? He wasn't worried at all, because he did not need to worry. Long Fei was simply unable to approach him. Boom! Long Fei was knocked back once again. Once again, he returned to the original spot, sweating profusely. I really can't get close. Xiaobai said, Master, I will open up a path for you. Brother Xiaobai, just leave it to me. Aren't they just some spiritual body warriors? I can't hurt them. I can't take their attacks. Bing would disdainfully said, it wasn't that they weren't strong, but that even if they could withstand these attacks, they would still be knocked back. The strength of the formation wasn't just any ordinary strength. Formations relied on the use of the formation's eye. If one could not break the formation, they would be unable to leave, just like the boundary. If one did not break through the formation, they would not be able to leave. Little bastard, come again. They're charging up again. Why aren't they coming? Nangong Wudi said proudly. Nangong Wudi was very proud. He was exceptionally pleased with himself. Moreover, in the moment he laughed madly. His gaze turned sinister as he locked onto long sand foam. Killing intent surged from his body as he said, "You're not going to rush ahead, are you? Now it's my turn. Just now, you killed my son and my grandson. Now, I want you to watch your grandfather die before you." As soon as he finished, Nangong Wudi unleashed the power of the peak war master from his body, and with a thought, it directly landed at the entrance of the Tai Temple. He stared at Long's sand foam and sneered, "Lunatic Long, go and die." Boom! Both of his palms shook, and the power of peak war master roared out, directly striking towards Long's sand foam. Too fast, too fierce. Long Sanfeng's face turned sinister. He did not dodge at all, and went straight ahead. Dragon Break, 8 Dragon Fury. Roar. A draconic roar was released from his body, and his entire body was covered with draconic scales. The 4 palms collided, causing a violent blast of force to wreak havoc. Sounds of explosions could be heard. Sand and stones were flying everywhere, and the thick bluestone floor tiles around the two of them were continuously flying up, turning into dust. Long Zhanhai was simply incapable of getting close to it, and was directly sent flying by the force of the impact. Bam! Nangong Wudi took a few steps back. Long Sandfoam also retreated a few steps, spitting out a mouthful of blood. He bellowed, "F***, come again." Swish! With a burst of strength, all of the clothes on Long Sanfeng's upper body were torn apart, and his entire upper body was covered in dense dragon scales, looking extremely ferocious. It was like turning into a dragon. However, in the Long family, this was only the first and lowest stage of dragon forming. There was still a long way to go before it could transform into a dragon. Nangong Wudi scoffed, "Seems like you have used the blood of that huge dragon to raise your dragon blood activation. However, so what? You must die today." Long Sandfong did not waste any time with him. With a move of her palms, she released all the power in her body. "What are you talking about? Come if you dare." Without waiting for Nangong Wudi to attack, he rushed out. Just like how he had crushed Nangong Wudi. You know, his current cultivation was just too far off from Nangong Wudi's. However, he was Long Sandfoam, and even more so, he was Dragon Madman, Battle Maniac. He had never admitted defeat. Facing the continuous challenge from the 3 pillars, he did not even bat an eyelid. How could he be afraid of Nangong Wudi now? "I'm afraid you've lost." Lunatic Long's fists collided with his. Bam! Rumble! The earth shook and the mountains shook. Lunatic Long was sent flying, and he spat out another mouthful of blood. However, he didn't stop and slapped the ground with his palm. "F***, come again." Whoosh! His body was like a raging dragon as it rolled out. He once again rushed towards Nangong Wudi. Nangong Wudi's body was also in turmoil. The true breath was wreaking havoc in a somewhat unbearable state. Long Sandfong seemed to be at the 2nd level of the War Master, but because of the Long family's blood lineage, his cultivation was even stronger than the 5th level of the War Master. However, this did not mean that he was an opponent for Nangong Wudi. Seeing Long Sandfong rush towards him, Nangong Wudi's body sank as he shouted, "Lunatic Long, let's see how many more times you can go berserk." Crack! Nangong Wudi's palms released a ray of bloodlight. Long Zhanhai immediately shouted out, "Father, be careful." Long Fei also shouted loudly from within the formation, "Grandfather." The Dragon Madman did not care about all that. When the blood lineage's power was released, the shadow was like a dragon, going up with slay, 8 dragons rage. Roar, roar. When he cultivated the Dragon Break to its perfect state, 8 dragon spirit shadow as continuously flew out from his palm and pounced towards Nangong Woody. Nangong Woody also laughed coldly. The sea of blood is boundless. Die for me. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk as the blood mist dispersed. Nangong Woody pushed with his palms, and the surging force of the sea of blood collided with each other. Floating life. Table of contents. No windows? A plus plus, boom. The moment the 4 palms collided, the sky darkened and the earth darkened. It was as if the world was coming to an end. Chapter 1. Table of contents. Thank you so much, cultivation fruit. Love around the corner. Jean Tian. Mr. Jiang. Yi-chun. Grandpa squats in the streets and plays with little girls. Football little Jiang. Reading books all over the world. And even more, the sky demon is pitiful. Yi-chun. The bookworm enters the sea. Lin Chun. Great master. Purple-blooded berserk dragon. Happiness like blooming flowers. Summer ice. Ha ha ha. Time. Drug addict. Asterisk. Mr. Horse. Xiao Guang. Long Fei. The fierce wind. You will definitely support you. My brothers. Thank you for your strong support. 8_8419/2356532. Lunatic Long never knew fear. Lunatic Long never knew fear. He was a madman, battling madman. Once a fight broke out, he would put his life on the line. However, his cultivation was, after all, only at the 2nd level of the War Master. Even if they had dragon bloodline blood lineage, they still wouldn't be able to make up for such a large gap. Nangong Woody was forced to retreat and hit the wall again and again. He spat out a mouthful of blood, his face turning pale white. However, Long Sanfeng's injuries were worse as he fell from the sky and crashed onto the ground. He spat out a mouthful of black blood and laid on the ground, unable to get up for a moment. His internal organs were all churning. Every inch of his muscles looked as if they were about to tear apart. The impact of the blood sea palm caused the blood vessels in his body to become abnormally unstable, and they almost burst out of his body, making him feel extremely uncomfortable. Damn it, Nangong Woody cursed. He's really crazy, but today is the day you die. Nangong Woody moved and rushed towards Long Sanfeng. This time, he definitely wouldn't let Lunatic Long off. The people of the Long family were all too scary. They were existences that did not care for their lives. Long Sanfeng crawled up from the ground with much difficulty, gritted his teeth, and said savagely, again, still no fear. He was as arrogant as ever. This was the nature of the Long family. Nangong Woody laughed disdainfully. Lunatic Long, go to hell. With a move, he flew into the air and struck out with his palm towards the skull of the dragon madman. With this strike, Long Sanfeng was dead for sure. Father! Long Zhanhai roared thunderously as he flew out and used his body to block the attack. Bam! Long Zhanhai was smashed down, smashing onto the ground. The ground started to crack and started to spew out blood. Uncle! Long Fei was incredibly anxious and constantly rushing forward, but this formation was useless no matter how hard he tried. He was completely unable to break it. Nangong Woody smashed his fist against Long Sanfeng's body, also sending him flying, and the two of them crashed together. Nangong Woody was really too strong. His cultivation could completely suppress Long Sanfeng. It was difficult to make up for the difference in their cultivation levels. Nangong Woody walked towards Long Sanfeng step by step, stared at him, and coldly laughed. Do you want to save your grandfather? Kneel down and beg me. Ha ha! You made me feel the pain of losing my son, the pain of losing my grandson, and now I want you to personally see your grandfather, your uncle dying in front of you, and I will use the cruelest method possible to kill the two of them little by little. Long Fei, slowly enjoy yourself. Ha ha ha! Nangong Woody was extremely pleased with himself. Long Fei clenched his fists so hard that his joints popped out. Nangong Woody, I'll fuck your ancestors. Nangong Woody laughed. Are you angry? As he spoke, Nangong Woody stepped on a Long Zhanhai's body, grabbed his head, and pulled fiercely, pulling Long Zhanwu's head up to look at Long Fei, saying, Long Zhanhai, have you seen your nephew? Ha ha! Long Fei, is this great? Ha ha. He laughed maniacally. Long Fei's nails dug into the flesh of the trap as fresh blood dripped down. Although he tried to break through the trap with all his might, he was unable to do so. Long Sanfeng said solemnly, Xiao Fei, break the formation first. Finished. Long Sanfeng's body shot out. He fiercely rushed forward, once again releasing all of his power, attacking Nangong Wudi. You overestimate yourself. Nangong Wudi laughed disdainfully. Lunatic Long, you're too weak. Get down. His right hand moved, and without waiting for Long Sanfeng's attack to fall, he smashed his fist down, boom. Long Sanfeng was slammed into the ground heavily. Fresh blood wildly sprayed as Long Sanfeng shouted once again, Xiao Fei, you have to believe in yourself. You have broken the Dragon Lock tactical method, and you can also break it. Long Sanfeng rushed forward again. Long Zhanhai also released his full strength. Break the formation. Break the formation. What should I do to break the array? Seeing his grandfather and uncle continuously being crushed by Nangong Wudi, it was truly hard for Long Fei to calm down. From the very beginning, he had been constantly breaking through array formations. He wanted to use his invincible defense to break through, but it was completely impossible. Before you break the formation, you must first find the formation aperture. Long Fei's mind started spinning frantically. Where's the formation aperture? Where's the formation core? It's Nangong Wudi? No, not him. This was the first time Long Fei touched the true breath on Nangong Wudi's body. The true breath on his body was completely unrelated to the inescapable snare tactical method. Thus, Nangong Wudi was not the eye of the array. He was the person who activated the array. Where was the formation core? Where is it? An array must have an eye. As long as they found it and destroyed it, they would be able to destroy the array eye. The Dragon Lock tactical methods, I was for the enemy. But what about the inescapable snare-tight tactical method's eye? Long Fei suddenly sat cross-legged. His mind spun, his chi spreading continuously, linking these ghost warriors together. He was looking for the formation aperture. Seeing Long Fei like this, Nangong Wudi laughed coldly and said, Long Fei, what are you doing with your eyes closed? You can't bear to see your grandfather, and your uncle is going to die? Ha ha! You little bastard, you don't want to see it, do you? The more I want you to see, the more I want you to see. Nangong Wudi suddenly moved, summoning out the half of the dragon salure. With a cold laugh, he said, Supreme Dragon of the Long family, Patriarch died on the Supreme Artifact S of the Long family. This must be very interesting, ha ha. Little bastard, don't you want to take a look? Finished. Nangong Wudi placed the dragon salure on top of Long Zhanhai's neck and said while grinning, Little bastard, open your eyes. This is the last time you see Long Zhanhai. It's your grandfather's turn right now, so it's you who's last, ha. The moment he made his move, Long Fei opened his eyes. Nangong Wudi immediately laughed out loud and said, That's right. Open your eyes and look, what a wonderful thing. Long Fei stood up. Shout by ice fire. Boom, boom. Two divine beasts came out of War Pet space. The might of a divine beast was incomparable, and its two angry eyes made people feel a chill in their hearts. The two of them were also extremely furious, and wished that they could tear Nangong Wudi into shreds. Screech. These two god beasts. I'm so scared. Nangong Wudi said excitedly. His tone changed as he bellowed, Little bastard, come out and let your divine beast bite me. Laughter. He laughed maniacally. Incomparable arrogance. Also at this time, Long Fei's gaze turned sinister as he stared coldly at Nangong Wudi and said, Nangong Wudi, open your dog eyes wide and look carefully. Me, Long Fei, you want to screw over your Nangong family's ancestral grave. In the second chapter, I recommend a book called Desolate God's Seat. The author listens and welcomes all support. 8_8419/2356533. As soon as he finished, Xiao Bai and the Ice Fire Dragon suddenly shook. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Divine beasts were infuriated. They were unstoppable, and the entire square of the great temple was shaking as the ground cracked. All the ghost warrior began to tremble. Nangong Woody frowned, then suddenly rushed forward a few steps. Little bastard, what are you trying to do? Beneath the grand temple was the memorial tablet of the ancestors of the Nangong imperial clan. Furthermore, the anger in his heart reached its peak at this moment, as he insulted the Thai temple, causing his ancestors to be unable to calm down, which was even more infuriating than killing Nagong Ao just now. Long Fei sneered. What are you doing? To F *** K up your ancestors' graves. Shall by ice fire? Yes, sir. The two divine beasts once more trembled violently. Rumble, rumble. The earth began to shake crazily, and the ground started to crack, causing the entire temple to shake. Nangong Woody looked as though he was going crazy. He gnashed his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. His eyes turned bloodshot as he roared in anger. Little bastard, you dare! Anger was burning. The aura on Nangong Woody's body surged continuously, and the shattered stones beneath his feet started to roll. Long Fei grinned and said, Nangong Woody, did you enjoy it? Ha ha! Shock him to death. I'm going to tear his ancestral grave apart. Long Fei laughed excitedly. The ground continued to crack. Suddenly, with a boom, the great temple collapsed, turning into a pile of rubble. The rankings within the great temple were also shattered. Nangong Woody was about to go crazy from anger. His eyes were about to spit fire. Long Fei, you little bastard. I will kill you. I will kill you. He was utterly enraged. He roared loudly, kill him. The ghost warrior continued to tremble as the power of the formation began to stir. Those ghost warrior were also not under his command. The space between Nangong Woody's brows tightened again as he thought in his heart, impossible, impossible, absolutely impossible. Long Fei's right arm condensed for 3 minutes. Looking at Nangong Woody's angered expression, he sneered, the inescapable snare-tight tactical methods formation is right below us. If I'm not wrong, this should be the Nangong Imperial Clan's dragon fountain. As soon as he finished, Long Fei's right fist shook as he punched the ground. Magic power of right hand. Open for me. Nangong Woody roared, don't. Rumble, rumble. Long Fei's fist shook and shattered. The ground caved in. Following that, bluestone tiles fell down, and the ghost warrior were also trembling crazily, as though they couldn't hold on much longer. No, no, no. Nangong Woody said as his eyes glazed over. Looking at the square of the great temple which had sunk down, he roared continuously. No, impossible. No one knows where the eye of the inescapable snare-tight tactical methods formation is. No one knows. It's impossible for you to know about this. Even himself, he also didn't know where the core of the formation was. The ancestor of the Nangong Imperial Clan used the evil methods of the Blood Refinement sect to separate these souls and then set them up in the square of the Supreme Temple. Other than the Emperor, no one for the Nangong family knew, because he knew that the less people who knew about the array core, the better. If he died, no one would ever know. As long as the Nangong Imperial Clan knew where the mechanism to activate the array core was, no one would be able to keep the array core secret. Just like the Long family's dragon lock tactical method. Other than the person who created the formation, no one else knew where the core was. Long Fei was the same. The sky was not good enough for him to charge out, and the Grand Temple was not the eye of the spell formation. There was only one possibility. At the bottom of this square, after Xiao Bai and the fire and ice were shaken, the ghost warrior trembled. Their chaotic flow of energy also proved that his conjecture was correct. Long Fei punched out. The Timian Plaza caved in. Those ghost warrior did not disappear immediately. Long Fei took a step forward and charged into the secret room. A gigantic dragon was carved in gold and occupied the entire room. A gigantic dragon was staring at Long Fei with its vivid and lifelike eyes. There were 2 tablets on the dragon's head. One of them was the ancestor of the Nangong imperial clan, Nangong Haotian. The other was engraved on the tablet, Nangong Yao Hai. Formation aperture. A dragon's vein is the core of a formation. A dragon's head is the core of a formation. Nangong Yao Hai, you're truly smart. Longface slowly walked forward and stared at the two tablets. The tablet, dragon suppressing orb. Did this mean he was suppressing the Long family? You all were afraid of the Long family from the beginning. Nangong Haotian, you never thought of this. If it weren't for the bullying of the Long family by you all these years, your Nangong imperial clan would still be able to enjoy prosperity for the next 10,000 years. But now, Long Fei took out the dragon salure. Nangong Yaohai's memorial tablet was instantly knocked over. It was also at this moment. Long Fei clenched both his hands, causing the bloodlight on the dragon's salure to churn. The great desolate mountain demon king and the divine tiger roared, and with a move, he slashed down, die. Nangong Wudi rushed to the entrance of the cave and shouted, "Little bastard, you dare!" Not waiting for him to finish. The dragon salure in Long Fei's hand had already slashed down. The blade landed on the dragon head. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The dragon head fell down and even crushed Nangong Haotian and Nangong Yaohai's tablets. With a single slash, the inescapable snare-tight tactical method was destroyed. The entire Fireglass City was trembling violently. At this moment, Emperor Star in the night sky had fallen at the same time. A shooting star fell, and a new Emperor Star was born. At this moment, ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for slaying Heaven's Net Ghost Killing Formation. You have obtained experience points, True Breath Point, Credit Point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the 3,800 Ghost Warrior S of the Heaven's Net Ghost Absolute Killing Formation. Do you want to release them? Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for consecutively leveling up to level 8, currently at level 8 yellow rank. The inescapable snare tactical method was a boss. It shone with a golden light from the very beginning. Long Fei was puzzled. Why was there a boss level in the array? From the looks of it, the formation exploded. Moreover, they were the 3,800 Ghost Warrior S in the Imperial Net array. They were simply invincible existences. Even Xiao Bai's and the giant dragon's attacks were useless. However, the system had even prompted him whether he was released. This, Long Fei's heart tightened, but he did not immediately reply. Let's go. I beg of you. Please let us go. Our souls have been suffering for thousands of years. Please let us go. We were wrong about your ancestors in the Long family. We repented, and we will never do it again. Table of contents, I'm begging you. Let us into the underworld. He kept begging. Release or not release. Chapter 3, 8_8419/2356534. Clearly, these souls have been suppressed for thousands of years. Clearly, these souls have been suppressed for thousands of years. Each and every one of them had accumulated resentment in their hearts. Resentment toward the Nangong imperial clan. They yearned for reincarnation. He desired to take off his body and merge his soul into the underworld. None of this had anything to do with Long Fei. Release or not release. This was indeed a problem. If it could not be released, the system would definitely not prompt him to release it. What would happen after it? What would he get? Or could it be nothing? This was a gamble. Long Fei could not control it well. After all, there were 3,800 Ghost Warrior S here, and it was even inescapable snare-tight tactical method. Once they were controlled to level up by killing demon beasts in the mountains, wouldn't that be as fast as a skyrocketing rocket? Honestly, when Long Fei revealed the Ghost Warrior, his heart began to boil, and from the start, he had never thought of releasing it. These were all upgrade machines, so releasing them would be a huge loss. However, the system prompt had him at a loss. Huff! Long Fei took in a deep breath, unable to make a choice. It was also at this time. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the air, Nangong Woody roared. "Little bastard, come out and accept your death." F***CK. Long Fei's heart trembled, and he said, "I almost forgot about this, boss." Ice and fire. The ice fire dragon was enraged. Understood. With a leap, the ice fire dragon's wings flapped, and it immediately charged out of the ruins, flying into the air. There was a series of explosive sounds from its throat. Dragon's flame sprayed out. The center of Nangong Woody's brows shook, and an aura of the peak of the War Master was released from his body. It was also at this time. Xiaobai roared. Roar. The illusory image of the wolf god dispersed into the sky as a heavenly wolf descended from the skies and pounced towards Nangong Woody. Serious domination. Nangong Woody was almost unable to endure it. Faced with the attacks of two mighty divine beasts, he was knocked flying backwards. Nangong Woody's face was a mess, and he was sent flying. His robes made an explosive noise as he was forced to the point of extreme discomfort. Adding the anger in his heart, he summoned his dragon Salyer and coldly said, "You must be a divine beast, right? Kill." When a gigantic War Master was added onto the dragon Salyer, in that instant, the aura on the dragon Salyer changed instantly as Nangong Woody fiercely slashed at it. "Kill!" Boom! The dragon Salyer cried out in mid-air. Dense blade aura burst out. One blade cut off the head of the Sky Wolf. The image of the Sky Wolf immediately disappeared. It was incomparably powerful. The dragon Salyer continued to emit a brutal aura. Dragon Salyers were ferocious soldiers. They were main killers. To it, killing was its fate. It was very clear that Nangong Woody had a better understanding of Dragon Salyer than Long Fei, and in his entire life, he had spent almost 100 years researching Dragon Salyer. He knew how to unleash the power of a Dragon Salyer. At the same time, he also knew how the Long family's ancestor used the Dragon Salyer. The might of the supreme artifact was unparalleled. Long Fei was shocked. What a strong blade aura! He was unable to unleash such a strong saber chi. Nangong Woody laughed sinisterly and said, "This is the true power of slaying a dragon. Long Fei, you little bastard, who do you think you are? In your hands, Dragon Salyer is a waste. You're simply unable to unleash even 1,000th of its power. In the past, your ancestor used it to kill the dragon god. How domineering was it? How intrepid was it to be able to kill the dragon god? Its power is incomparable. But what about you? How much power can you release? Ha ha! Tremble under my dragon Salyer." Nangong Woody destroyed the sword in one slash from the flames of ice and fire. The power of the dragon Salyer in his hands was indeed shockingly terrifying. Long Fei couldn't do it. He had obtained the dragon Salyer less than a year ago, so his understanding of it wasn't enough. Moreover, the stronger you are, the stronger the dragon Salyer will be. The more fearless you are, the more ferocious the dragon Salyer become. It was kill. The supreme artifact, kill. Enough distance. The ice fire dragon suddenly warned and said, "Master." Ding! Target locked. Long Fei's forehead turned sinister, and he shouted, "Release the combined attack." With their souls linked, the idea became one. Thick clouds appeared in the sky. The clouds continuously rotated. 9-story heaven appeared. The first floor suddenly shook, and a laser light was released. Ice and fire 9 heavens kill. As long as one touched it, it could be killed instantly. Chua! The might of the ice and fire 9 heavens was like the descent of a heavenly power, striking towards the center of Nangong Woody's brows. Nangong Woody raised his eyes, his expression extremely sinister. The dragon Salyer cut his palm, and all the blood that flowed out was absorbed by the dragon Salyer. It was also at this time, the dragon Salyer's entire body flashed with a bloody light and became extremely fierce. Facing the first level of the rankings, he stepped forward and grinned excitedly. "Explode. Let the lowly descendants of the Long family see your strength." "Ha ha! You are invincible." Rumble. The light beam shot down and struck the dragon Salyer's body. The bloodlight on the dragon Salyer's body became stronger and stronger. The combined attack simply could not penetrate it. Nangong Woody was also trembling intensely. His entire body was unable to withstand it. His body smashed into the ground from midair. He was in an extremely sorry state. However, Long Fei's heart sank. Not even a little bit of blood has been lost. The combined attack of the ice and fire nine heavens did not cause him the slightest bit of damage. Long Fei was incomparably shocked, and what was shocked was not just how powerful Nangong Woody was. He was shocked by the other half of the dragon Salyer. It could actually resist the power that could instantly kill anything under the War Emperor. It was really too strong. The clouds slowly dissipated. The power of the beam was also weakened. Nangong Woody's bent waist slowly stood up and started laughing maniacally with a dark and heavy tone. "Can't kill me, haha. Little bastard, you're too weak. This is your strongest move, right? Haha. If a half of a dragon Salyer can possess such power, then the dragon Salyer in your hands. It's also mine, ha." Nangong Woody was crazy. His expression was savage beyond compare. His eyes were bloodshot, as if he had been possessed. The dragon Salyer in his hands trembled even more violently. His heart was about to be controlled by the other half of the dragon Salyer. Long Fei laughed coldly and said, "Nangong Woody, do you think that I have no way of dealing with you?" Nangong Woody pointed his dragon Salyer at Long Fei and said disdainfully, "The trash of the War Chief realm, the trash of the giant dragons, the trash of the White Wolf. So what if you have these holy artifacts? You don't even know how to release their powers. Only I am able to activate all of their powers." Chapter 48_8419/2356535. You have no cards left. You have no cards left. What qualifications do you have to fight me? You, your uncle, your grandfather, all the long army outside the great temple will all die. Ah! Nangong Woody roared, his two eyes turning blood red. He was completely bewitched, his mind also being occupied by the dragon Salyer. Enchanted. Nangong Woody's mind was being controlled by half of the dragon Salyer. He had complete control of it. The killing intent of the dragon Salyer exploded. Vicious weapon. Even the upper half of the dragon Salyer in Long Fei's hands was trembling. Nangong Woody took a step forward. The bloody glow on his body soared into the sky, bringing along a series of thick, bloody demon mirages as he charged towards Xiang Long Fei. "Long Fei, be careful." Xiao Fei, Long Zhanhai, and Long Sanfeng gasped on the ground. Long Fei grinned coldly and said, "Do you think I have no way of dealing with you?" Nangong Woody laughed in disdain. "What else do you have? You have nothing left, just die." It was also at this time. The weakened ice and fire said solemnly, "Master, I can still unleash another combined attack and blast him with a cannon. I don't believe that I can't blast him to death." The first release of the ice and fire nine heavens was the limit of the current state of ice and fire. If he were to release it again, he would only overdraw his HP. This would definitely hinder his cultivation level in the future, and he might even be able to stay in the 5th stage forever. Xiao Bai's body suddenly changed. Immediately becoming more than 2 meters tall, the divine beast Qi on his body became extremely fierce, and he shouted, "This daddy is really not happy. I want to kill him." Long Fei pulled Xiao Bai back and said, "All of you, return to my war pet space." Xiao Bai still had not used his ultimate move. However, this powerful skill also consumed his profound qi. Just like how Long Sanfeng had forcefully released his war master qi, the consumption of his profound qi would cause his body to be severely injured, and his cultivation would forever stay at that level. Long Fei didn't want to see them like this. Moreover, they're just cubs. Xiao Bai was still only at the 3rd level. Ice and Fire 5th level, simply too low. If he were to grow to the maximum level, a mere peak war master could be killed in an instant with a single breath. Their future was limitless. They could not afford to let them go to waste at a time like this. "Master, we can still carry them." The two divine beasts were not happy with Nangong Woody. Long Fei did not allow them to resist and shouted, "Go back. Do you want me to do it myself?" Without waiting for their response, Long Fei moved and immediately controlled their idea, summoning them back to the war pet space. Long Fei's idea moved and said to the ghost warrior who were still wailing nonstop, "Didn't you want me to let you guys go? Aren't you people from the Nangong Imperial clan? Now kill him. I will let you leave this place." As soon as his voice faded, all of the ghost warrior-s rushed out, and the gigantic, inescapable, snare-tight tactical method was instantly set up. It was also at this time that a wave of energy dragged Long Fei out. Boom, 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 boom. The inescapable snare-tight tactical method was activated, confining Nangong Wudi in an array. Nangong Wudi was instantly stopped. Looking at the surrounding ghost warrior, he fiercely shouted, "You damned vengeful spirits! Do you want to rebel? You're just the Nangong family slaves. Get lost!" Long Fei shouted from afar, "Kill! Kill! Kill!" 3,800 ghost warrior-s started to move, unleashing a crazy pressure on Nangong Wudi, crazily killing him. Nangong Wudi was simply unable to resist. At this time, his dragon salure also lost its effect. This was because these ghost warrior were all spirit bodies and could not be killed. All attacks were immune. Even a dragon salure that had been possessed wouldn't have any use. Long Fei quickly ran to his grandfather's side, gave them a few seconds of healing pills, and asked, "Grandfather, are you guys okay?" Lunatic Long stood up slightly, looked at Nangong Wudi who was inside the array, and said, "Xiao Fei, why did these ghosts stop you from ordering them?" Long Zhanhai also said, "These people were once guards of the Nangong family. They only listened to the orders of the Nangong family. Why would they stop you now?" Long Fei said, "Just now when I broke through the array, these ghosts all listened to me." Ha ha ha! Long Sanfeng immediately laughed out loud, looking at Nangong Wudi who was hiding in the east and west. "Old thief Nangong, why are you being so arrogant again? Isn't it great to die in the midst of a formation set up by one's own ancestors?" Ha ha! Long Zhanhai also laughed out loud and said, "Nangong Wudi, do you feel good now?" Awkward. It was extremely embarrassing. Even if he was Nangong Wudi, even if he was the war master, he still had no power to resist the inescapable snare-tight tactical method. Furthermore, this was a formation set up by the ghost warrior, so there was no way to resist it. He had initially watched Long Fei struggle through the array, but now it was his turn. The array core was an underground dragon vein, but where was the array core now? I don't know. Nangong Wudi's entire body was riddled with scars, and bright red numbers continuously floated up above his head. He had to say it. The inescapable snare tactical method formed from these ghost warrior-s are just too strong. They were completely unrivaled existences, and adding on their anger towards the Nangong Imperial family, they were even more furious. Every single ghost warrior used their full strength. Of course, as long as they knew a technique to attack with a spirit body, these ghost warrior would be killed as if they were vegetables. Long Fei was a little regretful now. Really letting them go? He was truly conflicted. Half an hour passed. The amount of blood on top of Nangong Wudi's head dropped by around 100,000 points S. The 3 million HP is about to be depleted. Long Fei's gaze tightened as he summoned Xiaobai and said, "Take grandfather and uncle out." "Grandpa, uncle, you two leave first." Long Fei was still a little worried. After all, he was a peak war master ranker, the strongest in the Fireglass dynasty. Even the last drop of blood could not be left unnoticed. Long Sanfeng glanced at Long Fei and said, "Xiao Fei, be careful." Long Zhanhai wanted to stay, but he was glared at by Long Sanfeng. Long Sanfeng knew clearly in his heart that Long Fei did not want them to take the risk. Long Fei also had his own secrets. There must be a secret. It was a secret that only belonged to Long Fei. Long Fei moved and said to Xiaobai, "Bring grandfather and uncle back to the Long family." Xiaobai said heavily, "Master, you must be careful." After watching them leave, Long Fei moved and said, All of you retreat. Now it's my turn. 3,800 Ghost Warrior S quickly retreated to the side, prepared to fight at any time. Long Face slowly walked up, and looking at the extremely miserable Nangong Woody, he smiled. Nangong Woody, is it good? Equals half carrot float, hashtag life, carrot Nangong Woody was bleeding profusely. He stared at Long Fei and bellowed, "Little bastard, I will kill you." Shua! With a sudden movement, he rushed towards Xiang Long Fei. Long Fei clenched his right hand, and the dragon salyer fell into his hand. The corners of his mouth slightly curled up as he coldly laughed. Come. Chapter 5. 8_8419/2356536. Buzz! Buzz! A hum came from the dragon salyer. Boom! The blood-red blade exploded. The auras of the wild mountain devil and the divine tiger blood lineage burst out. Long Fei's eyes sunk. The idea melded into the dragon salyer. Following that, his body also flashed with the bloodlight and blade aura of the dragon salyer. One with the saber, Long Fei moved and said to the dragon salyer in his heart, "I know you can hear me, and I also know that you want to find your other half. Now, I'll give myself to you. Power, speed, technique, whatever you want, I'll give you whatever you want, but I want you to kill him in one slash." Finished. Long Fei gave up control of himself. At this moment, the 80,000 true breath values in his body instantly disappeared. At the same time, Long Fei shouted in his heart, "Wu Shuang!" Boom! Boom! After a few explosions, his energy attribute was doubled and his true breath was ignited. The dragon salyer moved. As the bloodlight receded, Long Fei's figure flashed like lightning, directly slashing through the skies, and he gave a low snort. One blade flowed. Dragon slash. Roar! The raging dragon on the dragon salyer's back rose up into the sky. A real dragon was not a wyvern like the ice and fire dragon, but a divine dragon from ancient China. And then, descending from the sky, crack! The dragon salyer fell, and the dragon god entered his body. Long Fei's body also instantly passed through Nangong Woody's body. Without touching a drop of blood, he quietly stood there. At that moment, Long Fei could feel the power of the dragon salyer. The dragon salyer was made from dragon blood. Its true strength was not Dao Feng, nor was it the power to slay dragons, but the power of the dragon god. Long Fei stood there quietly and said indifferently, "The dragon salyer's power does not depend on your own strength to stimulate it, but on its own strength. It is the ruler of all these, and by letting itself be the strongest, Nangong Woody, you are too weak." Poochie! Nangong Woody spat out a mouthful of blood, and a scarlet number floated up the top of his head. 999 critical hit damage with 999 HP. This was the power of the dragon god, the true might of the dragon god. It was truly the power of a dragon salyer. Nangong Woody slowly turned around to look at Long Fei. His eyes were filled with fear as his ice-cold aura gradually filled his entire body. No, impossible. I. Long Fei, you will also die soon, just you wait, the blood refinement sect won't. I won't let you go. I will definitely not. Boom! His body exploded into a cloud of bloody mist that rained down. It filled the entire Timian Plaza. It was also at this time that the Ghost Warriors started to cheer. The resentment in their hearts had finally exploded out, and one by one, they walked to Long Fei's side and knelt down, kowtowing and saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We are free." At this moment, Long Fei closed his eyes and listened quietly. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Nangong Woody for obtaining 10 experience points, true breath point, and energy values point. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Dragon Salyer. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Flaming Yellow Chi. Do you wish to refine it? Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. The level War Chief level in front of you is War Chief level 2. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for gathering Dragon Salures. You have obtained 100 experience points, 100 true breath, and 100 points as your reward. The system sounded out continuously. We're back. We're finally back. Dragon Salure. Long Fei quietly looked at the other half of the space ring, feeling the dense, evil aura from his body. No matter what, now that it was back, all he needed to do was to repair it. As long as it was repaired, the Dragon Salure's mission would be completed. However, it was a pity that he did not have the striking energy value. Otherwise, the boss Nangong Wudi would definitely have more and better items. The striking attribute. At the same time, Long Fei took a look at the items that dropped. Item: Flaming Yellow Chi Grade. Function: Description: the scorching yellow energy of the world. A strand of essence energy from the primal chaos ancient era. Description 2. The ancestor of the Nangong imperial clan, Nangong Haoyan, obtained this in a mystic realm. The Nangong imperial clan was unable to refine this pill for 10,000 years. Ding! Release and refine? Long Fei didn't quite understand, as he read through it once more carefully. He muttered to himself, "Is grade and utility a question mark? What the hell is this? Is it something that even the system can't recognize? What if it is swallowed? What if it's poison gas? 10,000 my ass. Who would I be afraid of? If I don't die, I will die for tens of thousands of years." Long Fei hardened his heart and resolutely ordered, "Refine. In this lifetime, I'm afraid you will lose your entire life." There had never been a way out for martial arts training. If he didn't even have this much courage, then what the heck was he? The system sounded out. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for successfully refining the Flaming Yellow Chi. Holy SH**T. The Nangong Imperial Clan can't even refine it for tens of thousands of years. And I succeeded in less than a second? I must have reached the acme of perfection in my inherent skill, right? Long Fei muttered in his heart. From the moment he first saw the Flaming Yellow Chi, he had felt that it was an incomparable force that brought with it a magical force that attracted him. Thus, only then would he disregard the danger to refine it. Actually, he wasn't confident either. What was it? Boom! Rumble! 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 A loud sound echoed out. A series of rumbling sounds came from Long Fei's pubes, followed by a continuous increase in its size. The originally tattered pubes seemed to want to tear it apart. Incomparable pain. F***CK. It's really poison. Long Fei could not help but curse in his heart as he thought to himself, "I really want my life." Ignoring everything else, Long Fei swallowed a few antidote pills first. The medicinal pill entered his body. It was like a clay ox entering the sea, with no reaction at all. Long Fei took out a handful of highest-grade medicine powder and threw it into his mouth and swallowed it. It was still useless, and his true breath was rapidly decreasing. Just a moment ago, after leveling up, his true breath had already reached a total of 230,000 points when he killed Nangong Wudi. In less than 10 seconds, he only had about 10,000 points left in his true breath slot, and it was still decreasing. Too fast. It was as if over 100 god-level skills had been released at the same time, disappearing in an instant. The most crucial point. Why didn't he get it? Long Fei didn't know it all. There was no true breath. Long Fei took out the dragon spirit pellets and ignored the time spent on it. He placed the 100 into his mouth, and the true breath of these dragon spirit pills reached the second 100,000 points. However, it was still useless. Boom. 36-0 search. Half floating // equals boom. Boom. The pubes S were still buzzing. Ding. Chapter 6. 8_8419/2356537. A notification sound suddenly rang out. A notification sound suddenly rang out. Long Fei prayed in his heart. "Brother, it must be good news. Please don't say that the value of some true breath is not enough." In an instant, The true breaths that neared the 100,000 points were all devoured. What the heck is this? Was there anything worse than this? Long Fei was extremely regretful now. He should not have been tempted and should not have refined the flaming yellow qi. How could he have imagined that the Nangong Imperial clan would not even be able to refine the flaming yellow qi successfully for tens of thousands of years? It felt like the system had dug a hole for him to jump into. This was too darned. Ding! The thunder clock has been decomposed and swallowed. System, you mother of *cur, engulfing your sister, is it easy for me to drop a holy artifact? Not only did he devour my true breath, he even devoured my holy artifact. Long Fei started to curse. But before he could finish cursing, ding! The Sky Tyrant armor has been broken down and swallowed. System, don't you have a son? If you swallow more, just *King devour it for a second time. Lousy will really fight it out with you. Long Fei shouted. It was as if he had gone mad. The surrounding ghost warrior were all at a loss as they thought, is this bastard sick? Ding! The Overlord God Wing has been dissolved and swallowed. *CK balls. Long Fei was about to cry and said, Brother, I'm begging you, don't be like this. Really don't be like this. I only have these few good things. You've already swallowed them. How am I going to mix with you in the future? I'm begging you. Ding! The Tyrant Sky battle boots have been broken down and swallowed. Another holy artifact on Long Fei's body disappeared. He was in a bad mood. Damn you, system. If you have the guts, come out. I want to fight to the death with you. I won't rest until you're dead. Long Fei was going crazy. The 4 holy artifacts were gone. Can't we just *King play? Can we still be friends? There were no more 4 pieces of equipment for acting cool. How could he go out and pick up girls in the future? Ding! The Tyrant Heaven's divine sword has been disintegrated and is being devoured. Gone. Everything's gone. The Sky Tyrant set is gone. It hasn't even been a day. Long Fei sat on the ground, his eyes unfocused. His entire being was in a bad mood, lifeless. He muttered to himself, *CK your grandpa. Damn you, system. You will die a horrible death. You will die a horrible death. He could only curse. He couldn't resist at all. Long Fei didn't even know how to resist, not waiting for him to finish. Ding! The Yellow Springs divine sword has been broken down, engulfed. Brother, can you leave me a sword? I've never used this netherworld sword before, your sister. Long Fei was already powerless. She was just like a girl who had been forced to act countless times. Moreover, at this moment, the dragon Salyer began to tremble. It was afraid. He was truly afraid. Never before had Long Fei felt that the dragon Salyer was this afraid. He is a supreme artifact. Even the dragon god could be killed, and even the dragon god's power was within the seal. He was actually afraid right now, and began to tremble in fear. What was it? What exactly was the burning yellow qi? Suddenly, Long Fei's mind tensed up. The idea sunk. His 2 hands tightly held onto the dragon Salyer as he roared out, I don't care who you are, swallowing this daddy's true breath. Thunder clock, Tyrant profound set. That's fine, but if you dare to swallow my dragon Salyer, I'll really fight with you for my life. The dragon Salyer was still trembling. The threat was still there. Long Fei was going crazy. *CK. Long Fei clenched his teeth until it made a cracking sound, and said, I'm going all out. Suddenly, Long Fei directly placed the dragon Salyer at the neck where the artery was located and said, if you want to swallow it, then devour it. If you have the guts, then let this daddy see. If you don't believe me, I'll let you see my death. If I die, you won't be able to live either, right? If you have the guts, then try it. Everything else was fine, but the dragon Salyer did not believe it. What was a dragon Salyer? It was a treasure left behind by the Long family's ancestor, a belief in the Long family. If he was engulfed, it would be impossible for Long Fei to become a descendant of the Long family. It was unknown whether Long Fei's threat had worked or if it was a bit pitiful seeing him being forced to death, but the dragon Salyer returned to normal. And then, the thunder dragon rod began to tremble. That won't do. Long Fei pressed the dragon Salyer even closer and said, This won't do. and we can't swallow it either. Thunder Dragon Rods were related to the Thunder Dragon Temple's secret plane. The Thunder Dragon Rod was the mission item. Long Fei guessed that it might be the key to opening the Thunder Dragon Temple. The most crucial point. Thunder Dragon Rods were semi-artifact-s and had the lightning 10,000 area-off effect skill. This was a good thing. It could not be swallowed anymore. In the end, the Thunder Dragon Rod was saved. However, the remaining pellets in Long Fei's space ring were all swept away. The items that were previously dropped were also all swept away. Some King Kong shield, some Earth Dragon battle armor, some ancient blades, all of them were devoured. If not for the fact that he couldn't absorb all of the skills and cultivation techniques, they would all be devoured as well. Now, other than the Dragon Salyer, the two weapons of the Thunder Dragon Rod, Long Fei had nothing else. She was completely naked, just like a newbie in a novice village. The rookie still had a piece of white cloth, but he didn't have anything. Long Fei thought about refining the scorching yellow qi. Then he turned around and sang. Who would have thought that it would actually take him one night to return to before liberation? Too bitter. I really want to cry. He felt as if he had been forcefully molested by a bunch of women, and they didn't even give him any money, but wanted his money instead. Was there anything more bitter than this? These things were all devoured. The space ring was empty, and it was no longer in pain. Suddenly, it heard a burp. Without waiting for Long Fei to speak. Those two war pet were not bad. They were both divine level war pet, but their levels were too low now. When one of them has a braised meat, and one has a steamed one, beating one's teeth up should be considered not bad. Roar! Awoo! Roared. Furthermore, as the two of them swiftly entered into battle mode, they were incomparably stern, even more serious than when fighting against Nangong Wudi. What are you yelling for? Do you believe that I won't eat you two little things right now? The deep voice rang out again. Xiao Bai and Bing Hua immediately became impotent. He crawled to the ground, not daring to move. The might of a divine beast? He became a dead dog. What the hell was a divine beast? Long Fei looked down on them. Do the two of you still have any backbone left? Are you even divine beasts? This is truly embarrassing for a divine beast. Floating life. Table of contents. No windows? A++ Xiao Bai muttered. Master, this old fellow. No. It's because the old man is too strong. We can't even compare to a single head on his body. Bing Hua also bitterly said, That's right, they are on completely different levels. He is the heavens, and we are the earth. An insect egg under the ground. It can't even be considered an insect. How do you think we should beat it? So strong? Long Fei's heart trembled, and he shouted, Old fellow, what are you called? Chapter 7, 8_8419/2356538. Xiao Bai was also a divine beast. Not even one head. How strong was he? Was the ice and fire dragon a dragon, after all, or a dragon of both fire and ice? Was it just an insect egg in the mud when compared to him? Isn't this too exaggerated? If it was really as they had said, then this old fellow was incredible. Old man. Not at all. A deep sound rang out. Long Fei immediately shouted, Old fellow, who isn't shameless. You took so many treasures from me and so many medicinal pellets from me, yet you didn't even bother to ask me a question. You're F**king saying that I'm impudent. You're F**king big and you're little? F**ck. Speaking of which, he got even angrier. A year's time was all wasted. It was not easy to get a hold of a few holy artifacts. In this world where martial arts was revered, holy artifacts were able to blind people and were comparable to sharp weapons used to flirt with girls. Now that they were said to be gone, how could Long Fei not be angry? However, the old man said, They're all trash. Long Fei. He was speechless. The holy artifact had become trash in his eyes. Long Fei immediately said, Then throw up all this trash for me. Don't eat it. You even eat trash. What do you count as? Return it to me. With this, the elder was rendered speechless. He said trash himself, but he even ate trash. This, Xiao Bai carefully reminded. Master, don't provoke him. Ice and Fire also tremblingly said, Master, calm down, calm down. Do not offend him, or else. F***CK. Long Fei shouted angrily. You guys are really afraid of being roasted and steamed away. Can you guys be a little unyielding? Old man, throw up that trash. Spit it out if you have the ability. If you can't spit it out, then don't talk to me about trash. If you eat my holy artifact, then don't talk about trash. Just think about how angry you are. Long Fei was furious. Saying that, Long Fei's tears started to fall uncontrollably. Am I that easy to make a holy artifact? You said eat it, then eat it. Did you go by me and eat it? Do you know how I've been through all these years? Do you know how important these things are to me? Long Fei's tone had changed too quickly. He was so fast that the old man couldn't react in time. He still wanted to be angry, but now he could not be angry. Huff! The old man impatiently said, all right, it's only a few pieces of trash. Don't worry, with me here, you'll get as much trash as you want. I really can't stand it. Immediately, Long Fei's tears rolled back, and she immediately said, You're the one who said this. I'm not forcing you. You can have as many as you want. Xiao Bai, you all heard the voice, right? Even Long Fei himself was impressed with his acting. Tears come when you say they do. He thought to himself, if I were to perform in a movie, I would be able to get on top of everything like the Oscars, the Golden Image Awards, the Golden Horse Awards, and the Best Actor. Xiao Bai and Bing Hua immediately nodded. They felt the old man's gaze and quickly shook his head. Long Fei said, You said it yourself as a man, you have to say it. Of course, if you think you are a woman, you can deny what you just said. Ha ha! A burst of wild laughter came from the depths of the pubes. Long Fei's sea of consciousness was shaken to the point where even his mind was churning and was slightly unable to endure it. As soon as the old man finished laughing, he said, You little rascal, your temper suits this noble one's tastes. From now on, you're my Yin Huang ancestor's disciple. Wait. Long Fei immediately told him to stop and said, You want to take me in as your disciple? I have yet to acknowledge you as my master. Yin Huang ancestor asked, What's wrong? You're still not willing? Long Fei immediately said, Of course not. Do you think I would accept it? You're my disciple after all. Yin Huang ancestor stared at him and said, Brat, do you know in the past, even if War King was kneeling in front of me, begging to become my disciple, I wouldn't even look at him. Right now, how many people wouldn't even dare dream about becoming my disciple? Do you know who I am? I am the Yin Huang ancestor, an Empyrean god of primal chaos. Who in the three realms doesn't know of me? Who wouldn't be afraid? Many experts trembled in fear when they heard my name. How? Stop! Quickly stop! Long Fei was shocked in his heart, but on the surface he laughed in disdain. Old man, those were all in the past. Do you know what I used to be like? I killed the heavenly boss with one hand and millions of my descendants with the other. That so-called three realms of the Buddha demon god is just a piece of cake. Long Fei did not take it seriously at all. However, what he said was the truth. On Earth, he could indeed be like that. He played the game with one hand and his little brother with the other. With one hand, he beheaded the gods, while with the other, he smacked the ground. Yin Huang ancestor did not know how to react and asked, May I ask what was your previous title? How come I've never heard of such an expert? He could produce billions of children. Your technique is too powerful. Long Fei said, The idol of millions of youths, male god. The Ani weeps for me. The young lady is sad for me. Even the goddess is crying for me. I am called Brother Meng by other names. You can also call me Hard-Shelled King. Brother Sheng Meng? Fortitude King. Yin Huang ancestor pondered for a moment, but could not figure out who it was. He muttered, I've never heard of it. Cough, cough. Long Fei almost spurted a mouthful of blood from his mouth as he forcefully held back his laughter and said, The nickname is just a fake name, as if I've never heard of you before. I just wanted to tell you, don't mention the past, whatever past, it's all just a fake name. Bring out something practical. Long Fei felt that the Yin Huang ancestor was about to take the bait, and thought to himself, after eating so many of my holy artifact, there should at least be some rewards, right? Otherwise, it would be a huge loss. Ha ha! Yin Huang ancestor laughed and said, Boy, you are right. If we do not mention the courage of good man back then, I should indeed use some of my strength to show you the power of my Yin Huang ancestor. That's right. Why didn't you do this earlier? Long Fei laughed. Just as he finished, the dragon's salure began to tremble violently and started to tremble uncontrollably. It was afraid again, extremely afraid. Long Fei was stunned. Damn, you still dare to swallow my dragon salure? Yin Huang ancestor laughed. Didn't you want me to take something out? This is the power of my Yin Huang ancestor, huh? Boy, just wait and see. Whoosh! Half of the space ring disappeared. Long Fei started to curse anxiously. Old man, I'm going to fight it out with you. Chapter 9, 8_8419/2356539. The dragon salure had been eaten. What was so special about that? The dragon salure had been eaten. What was so special about that? Long Fei's anger was about to burn his head. But before he could finish speaking, Long Fei, who was clenching the other half of the dragon salure tightly in his hands, could no longer control it. Shwa! With a hum, it shook off Long Fei's hands and instantly disappeared. K your mother, shouted in rage. Dragon salure was the Long family's heirloom, the belief of the Long family. Now that it was gone and eaten, how could he not be arrogant? Come out and return my dragon salure. Long Fei was incomparably furious. Everything else was fine, except for the dragon's salure. This was because it was something left behind by the master, the belief of the Long family. At the moment of his anger, the Yin Huang ancestor suddenly moved. Long Fei's broken pubes surged with an incomparably ferocious power. It was savage, bloody, and at the same time carried the wrath of the divine dragon. Long Fei could clearly feel that scene. Blood dyed the sky red. The earth was filled with rivers of blood. A dragon god was groaning in pain and roaring. Dragon blood splattered everywhere. In the center of the dragon head was an incomparably savage large blade. The dragon god was firmly nailed there, and the large blade was crazily absorbing the dragon god's blood essence, gathering it bit by bit. While he was absorbing the dragon god's blood essence, the large saber was also unceasingly refining. The body of the saber was constantly changing, and the back of the blade was slowly covered with a raging dragon god's pattern. Fierce, terrifying. At this moment, a beam of astral fire descended like a meteor, blasting onto the body of the dragon-blooded saber, following which the flames began to burn as well as the fresh blood within. The entire dragon god was also burning. Roar! The dragon god roared. Finally, the enormous body of the dragon god that stretched for a few 100,000 km vanished, charging into the huge blade. On the back of the saber, a dragon god sat coiled, ferociously roaring. At this moment, with a flick of his wrist, all the blood was sucked into the blade. Rumble! 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 The earth split open and the sky shattered. All living things in the world became like ants as this great blade was born. All of them were trembling. At this moment, an explosive sound came from within Long Fei's pubes. Yin Huang ancestor's feeble voice came out as he said, in an incomparably domineering manner, Brat, did you see my strength clearly? The dragon salure has rebuilt it for you. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining dragon salure. At this moment, Long Fei was dumbstruck. He was completely dumbfounded. In the past, he had always been the one who shocked others, but now, his heart was in complete shock. The dragon god, the dragon blood, the flames in the sky, the earth, the sky, everything in the world they were all worshipping. The impact on Long Fei's mind was too big. Looking at the dragon's salure lying quietly within, the dragon god's furious roar, the tempering of the heavenly fire and the scarlet color of the dragon's blood seemed to faintly flash across the sky. Long Fei trembled slightly as the idea moved. Weapon, Dragon Salyer, can be leveled up. Grade, Supreme God, upgradable. Weight, 13,000 gene damage. Description: killing a demonic weapon will deal 500% increased attack damage to evil creatures, 100% increased attack damage to dragon creatures. Additional skill Dragon Spirit Killer will lead to a 100% increase in critical rate. Description 2. Unknown, to be opened. Description 3. Unknown, to be opened. Looking at the description and the attributes of the Dragon Salyer, they were several times stronger than the original Dragon Salyer. Just the weight alone was 10 times heavier than before. Long Fei moved. Ding! My wrist is not strong enough. I can't use one hand. Unable to grab it with his right hand, Long Fei looked at his wrist strength requirement and required 999 wrist strength to use. Both of his hands moved, and he shouted, "Come out!" Buzz! As the blade aura exploded, the blade aura of the Dragon Salyer in the center of Long Fei continued to release, crushing those ghost warrior-esque to the ground, causing them to tremble uncontrollably. Supreme Artifact's power also erupted. Long Fei could only describe this feeling with one word, as he could feel the three powerful energies within the Dragon Salyer: Heaven Flame, Dragon God, and Dragon Blood, constantly assaulting his soul. Awesome. Delightful to the extreme. The Yin Huang ancestor said solemnly. This is only the initial stage of the Dragon Salyer's evolution. Once I let it level up to the peak realm, even the War King in this world would be able to kill it with a single slash. Kid, do I have the right to be your master now? Hoo. Yin Huang ancestor's breathing became hurried, and he was even a little out of breath when he spoke. Even an expert of the War King realm was killed with a single slash? Isn't that an invincible existence? Long Fei sincerely admired him in his heart, and immediately said, "Master." Yin Huang ancestor grinned and laughed. His voice became weaker and weaker. "I can't take it anymore. I have to replenish my soul with the true breath. My remnant soul is too weak, kid. I will leave first. Don't call me for 3 days. As he spoke, then he would completely disappear. Long Fei was unable to sense his existence. Just now, when Yin Huang ancestor used the true breath to refine the Dragon Salyer, he had expended a large amount of profound qi. It would take time to recover. Long Fei did not disturb him either. Looking at the Dragon Salyer in his hands, he felt incomparably excited. It was also at this moment. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the repair of the Dragon Salyer quest. You have received 1,000 experience points, 10,000 True Breath S, and a 10% increase in the activation rate of the Dragon Spirit Killer. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Dragon Salyer secret. Do you wish to check? 10,000 True Breath S returned to the True Breath slot. Before Long Fei could say anything, they were automatically absorbed by the Yin Huang ancestor. Yin Huang ancestor was confused. Why did Long Fei suddenly add 10,000 True Breath points? Recovering in a few seconds? It was simply impossible. Even a peerless genius would not be able to recover so quickly. With regards to the system beep, other than Long Fei, no one else could hear anything, including the Yin Huang ancestor in his body. Although he did not know why there were suddenly 10,000 True Breath S in Long Fei's body, the Yin Huang ancestor was excited and thought to himself, "Good boy. If we play in the future, my Yin Huang ancestor will definitely slaughter his way back to the Chaos Realm one day. Just you all wait. Just wait till you all tremble for my return." Long Fei moved and said, "Check." Ding! The system sounded out. Dragon Salyer. The ancestors of the Long family killed the Dragon God and poured the Dark Dragon God's blood essence to create it. The Dragon God's power is contained within the seal, and those who control the Dragon Salyer grasp the Dragon Tribe. Carrot, half, /float * life. Bring the Dragon Salyer to find the Dragon Clan. We can order them. A few short sentences. Long Fei was dumbstruck. Could Dragon Salyer command dragons? Chapter 9, 8_8419/2356540. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.